Hello, everyone. Football already underway around the area. This is, just happened a few moments ago. West taking on Karns. West already starting to roll it up early on in this one. That's one of 2 touchdowns that West has punched in here. They are already up on Karns. Take a look at the second touchdown here a little bit further out this time. They go up top with it. Casey, West has really turned things around here the second half of the season.
West has really turned things around. That last touchdown was from Raheem Lee. This one coming from number 6, Silas Monroe on the reception there in the end zone. What a turnaround, like you said, for West in the back half of the season.
Yeah, 14-0 that one. This is Carter and Alcoa. Here's a shocker for you. Alcoa's already got 2 touchdowns, and they are continuing to roll it up.
Yeah, Alcoa 8-0 on the season, 5-0 in region play coming into this one. I do feel like Carter could give them a little bit of a fight, though. 6-2 for Carter this season, and they pull out some fun things. So let's not write them out just yet, Bo.
Yeah, so you saw the touchdown toss coming right at you there. But again, Alcoa already up now 14-0 on Carter. But yeah, we'll see how this one plays out over time. This is one of those more intriguing matchups, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, hello everyone. I'm Bo Williams.
I'm Casey Kay.
There you go. Hey, we're going to be the ones kind of walking you through the night that is high school football. I can't believe after tonight we've only got one more night of regular season football, and then we're into the playoffs. Yeah, so this is the second to the last night as far as regular season play. So every game matters. Even teams that you thought, well, they didn't get off to the greatest of starts. They get into region play, like West, let's say.
Absolutely.
Find some momentum, and now they're trying to position for the postseason.
A lot of teams right now, as I was going through the games that we have tonight, are on that border of if they win tonight, they're in, and if they lose, it's going to be the end of the road after next week for them. A couple teams that can solidify themselves in the playoffs tonight, but a lot of teams with a lot to play for if they want to stay in that playoff contention.
I just can't believe that we're already there at this point. Again, we're going to be running down a number of games for you tonight, so we've got paper scattered all over the desk for you. Take a look here. This is a 7-7 ball game. I'm guessing this is William Blount Central. I see Bobcats up there. That's one of those games we're watching tonight, keeping an eye on both those teams. Central's been playing lights out. William Blount kind of got blindsided last week, lost a big one, but they're still in the hunt.
Still in the hunt. They are still in the playoff picture right now. William Blount sitting in 5th in Region 1 6A. So if the season ended today, no, but a win over Central, who sits number 2 in that region, could put them in great position, especially with Campbell County coming up next week, who hasn't won a single game in the region. You know, they're probably going to pick up that win. So win tonight could probably put them in the playoffs.
All right, and take a look there along the side of the screen there. Other games we're watching for, and we'll put them up there as they pop up at Anderson County at South Doyle. Heritage at Gibbs, another one we're going to keep a close eye on for you tonight as we'll continue to take you around the area. But here you go, William Blount with the football. There's more for you. Karns at West, Powell at Clinton, Carter at Alcoa. We're watching at all these games. We've got cameras scattered all across the area. But again, William Blount now tied up 7-7 on the road at Central. And as you said, Casey coming in at 5-3, but they really need to pick up a win here tonight. Yeah,
Coach Robert Reeves from William Blount was saying that Central is one of the best teams that he's seen on film. I mean, that's no question, right? Both Central sitting 6-2, and both of their losses have come by just a score to Dommins Bennett and Powell. So they are not a team that you can just roll over on. The biggest thing about William Blount, though, is that they beat themselves last week, is what Reeves was saying, and they got to make sure that they don't beat the Govs, much less beat the Bobcats. They can't beat the Govs.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what he said tonight to Sam Rothman during our 6 o'clock newscast. I mean, you know, and you see that in a lot of teams that got a lot of talent. Sometimes their own worst enemy is themselves. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, so we'll see. And this is going to be a great game, too, to watch because you have 2 very talented quarterbacks as well. In this
2 seasoned quarterbacks as well in this area, absolutely.
So we'll see right now. William Blount looks like they're still talking things over. They'll break huddle here in a second. But Jackson Dabrowski, I want to say he was our Week 1 player of the week, wasn't he, if I'm not mistaken? So we'll keep an eye on this one closely for you. But again, this is a 7-7 matchup. Again, a 6-2 against a 5-3. These 2 did not play last year, so they don't see each other a whole lot. They probably will now moving forward. There's been some movement as far as regions and whatnot. But, yeah, William Blount and Central. Central I still can't get over. 286 points so far this season. They're averaging about 36 points a game. But William Blount's averaging 37.
They are, however, last week they were limited to their lowest amount of offensive points against West. They only had 14, so it's something that they're really going to look for. Jackson Dabrowski right here taking the snap to facilitate a little bit more this week on offense. He's going to take off on the run, pick up a few, and pretty hard takedown.
Yeah, I was going to say, pretty hard takedown. Picked up a few yards there, but yeah, nice tackle that time. Nice pursuit by the Central defense. to bring Dabrowski down, but we'll see if they continue to keep this drive alive here. But William Blount, you know, it's never easy to go on the road. 7-7, there you go. Second quarter already, by the way, where this game kicked off at 7. Yeah, some of the games tonight kicking off at 7 o'clock, others kicking off at 7:30. So that's why you'll see some discrepancies in where things stand. This time he's going to roll to his right, throws back, looks like down the middle, but no, had a receiver down there. He's looking for a flag. There it is.
Love that the flag's pink.
Yeah, for exactly. For Breast Cancer Awareness Month,
I assume. Got to change up the color. We see a lot of those on this show, right?
Yeah,
Just change up the color, get it a little bit more interesting here.
We do. No, that's good. Yeah, you definitely couldn't miss that one. So a big call. Let's see. Well, trying to figure out which way they're. I don't see like William Blount marching down the field right now. So
no,
is this one going to be offensive pass interference or this is defensive pass interference? Let's see which way they. Now they're moving. Okay, there you go. Looks like defensive pass interference. So Dabrowski went down the middle, rolled to his right, went long, but obviously pass interference call, so they'll mark it off and better field position now for the Governors.
They'll take anything that they can get against a strong Central team that, like you said, has really just been dominating this year, even in the games that they did come up short in.
This time they'll keep it on the ground, so again, a nice pickup, nice run. And again, William Blount continuing to march down the field. And that was something that we heard from the coach earlier from William Blount, that really both these quarterbacks, they're mobile. They can run, they can throw, which makes them just two standout QBs here in this area. And
something that Reeves, William Blount head coach, was looking for this week offensively is just for their offense to be patient, let the game develop naturally, take what the defense gives them. I mean, hey, if that's a penalty and that moves them down the field, Bo, I think they'll take that.
They'll take it, yeah. Thank you very much. This time and then another handoff, but that one's not really going anywhere. Jacob Craig, the junior, getting his number called there. It may be a yard or two, but nice job again by Central kind of blocking up that hole.
We can see why we're already a little bit into the second quarter here with a lot of run and a lot of waiting in between plays, but that clock is just running on down. But I guess if you're William Blount, give Central a little less time to do things offensively. And with over 200 some points this season, why not limit them any time that you can?
No question about this. This is a keeper from the get-go, and a nice pickup by Dabrowski as he comes near side with it there. So another good pickup there for William Blount. That was orchestrated. That wasn't not even a thought about throwing that one. He was off and running.
Which, like you said, is something that they've really benefited off this season. They, like you said, averaging around 40 points a game. That was before last week when they only had 14. So Dabrowski's been a key to that in the air and on the ground. Looks like he's going to go to the air for this one.
Yeah, another
Sends
quick
it out
pass
to the side. Don't know if he really picked up that much on that. That was Tay Williams, the wide receiver on that one, number 5, a junior.
So Sam's going to move toward this. Sam Rothman. Is Sam's running this camera?
Yes.
Yeah, Sam Rothman moving to the back of the end zone, which we always say that's how you know you're in the red zone. When your photographers move to the back side there of the end zone, make sure they get that touchdown score no matter which side they go with it into the end zone. So we've been talking about that all year. By now, you should all be seasoned sideline photographers.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, so Dabrowski this time the handoff. Gets some running
through.
room, breaks a few tackles. Doesn't quite get in, but close. Aiden Klein, the running back there, on the carry. Nice job punching his way, kind of giving that second effort to pick up a few extra yards.
I think it's good for William Blount right now that they're eating up the clock. I really think that could be something that is key come later in this game. I mean, it's tied up right now 7-7. And if they're eating up nearly half, maybe even more of the second quarter, if they can do that every single time, you're really going to limit what Central is going to be able to do time-wise. And that one was going nowhere, Bo.
Yeah. But it will eat up some time on the clock.
Yes. Going nowhere except for off the clock in time, right?
William Blount, by the way, 2-1 on the road this season. So
okay,
looking to pick up their third.
Yeah, not too bad.
Yeah.
And like we mentioned with the playoff picture, I mean, this is a must-win for William Blount. Right now, they're 5th in Region 1 5A. Their first year back in 5A, previously in 6A since 2015. And then some things got switched around. Obviously, we know Alcoa went to 4A. A couple other teams made their switch as well. One of those was William Blount. Coach Reese told me before the season started, it doesn't mean it gets any easier. He was thrown into a region with POW and West, traditional powerhouses, so they could make the playoffs. I think that would be very big for William Blount, a team who really hasn't made the playoffs that much in the last decade. Yeah,
that's for sure. Right now, looks like we had a player down, so the coaching staff coming out to check on the young man who's down here on the field. But we will keep it here for just a little bit as William Blount is driving. They got the ball on the 7-yard line, so they are knocking on the door, looking to take a 14-7 lead, if anything, a 10-7 lead. But always huge when you're on the road, especially playing a team as hot as Central is right now.
Shut them down right away, get the momentum on your side, because going into someplace, you're not going to have the momentum on your side right off the bat. You got to earn that, you got to win that, you got to take that away from Central in the Bobcat Stadium.
And really pretty impressive. I was looking at some of the stats. Central's averaging around 18 points in the first quarter.
Okay.
It's a 7-7 game midway through the second.
Yes.
So William Blount
has already limited
check
them.
off one thing there on their list, is trying to keep this offense either off the field or at least digging in and holding them to some limited yardage there.
Yeah, one of many things that William Blount was focused on in limiting Central. That was the key word: limit, restrict. The big plays and the turnovers that Central has been able to cause is something that they were really honing in on coming into this game. Limit those big plays, limit the turnovers, limit any big opportunity that shifts the momentum back in the Bobcats' favor. It looks like we're back in the ball game, Bo.
All right, from the 7, Dabrowski calls his own number, gets some blockers. I think he's in, and he is. So a huge touchdown. Yeah.
Take the lead.
I know, yeah.
13 to 7.
Okay, yeah, we say we're not going to add the extra point just yet.
I get too excited.
We all do. Yeah. Sam Gramble and I last week were like, okay, hey, the KCK rule, we can't
the KCK
say
rule.
It too early.
We did get burned on that back in week 2 or week 3, I believe it was, when I said it was going to be a certain score, and then they missed the extra point. So, yeah, 9:08 still to go. So they didn't eat up, I feel like, as much time as maybe we thought there. It was, I think, 11 something to go back when we saw it a few plays ago.
There's your
that
extra
one's
point.
Gonna be good.
All right, there you go. So the score now 14-7 in the second. William Blount on top of this one. And this is not the only game we're keeping an eye on for you. We're bouncing around, getting you up to date on what's happening in other areas. One of those, Anderson County and South Doyle. Let's take a look at a highlight from this one coming into our studios here just a few moments ago. Take a look. This is Anderson County. There you go, the quick toss to the right, and just a few steps in for the touchdown. Anderson County up 7-0. Early on in this one, coming in at 5-2, taking on South Doyle, a team that's actually had a pretty good season this year, even though they're now finding themselves at 4-4 overall.
Yeah, and that touchdown, J.D. Dillon to Jason Thompson, it's going to be J.D.'s second full game, and we're picking up this one live over at South Doyle.
So 7-7 the score now in the second is what I'm picking up here. So we're all knotted up in the second quarter. So a huge game for South Doyle.
Yes, more of a huge game for South Doyle in terms of if you're looking at that playoff picture than Anderson County. Looks like Anderson County is driving again. So tied up, Anderson County trying to get on top here.
Handoff is going to go to the right side and takes it down about the 6-yard line. Jason Thompson on the carry. Now we need to point out here, Gillum is back at quarterback.
He is back.
Yeah, he missed out. Was it week 1?
He got injured in week 2 against Knox Catholic, and he has missed 5 games. He returned last week, and that's going to be a touchdown, Bo.
And that's Thompson again, just getting in for the score. So just like that, Anderson County comes right back downfield, and will look to convert the extra point and make it a 14-7 game.
And then, as we were saying, with J.D. Gillum, the freshman quarterback, son of head coach Davey Gillum, this is just his second full game of the season. So first game, Anderson County's game got delayed and then ended up getting postponed and canceled, so they didn't finish that one, so he didn't get a full 4 quarters in. Then he goes down against Knox Catholic, doesn't get that one in. Last week was his first full game of high school football coming in week 9. So this is just week 2 for him of getting that full game in.
Yeah, and so far looking good. Last week, Anderson County, they were taking on Union County. I mean, it wasn't even close. It was an 84-20 game. But Gillum, 14 of 18, 391 yards, 6 touchdown tosses. So there you go. Second quarter, about 3:27 to go in this one until they'll head back into the locker room and get some orange slices. But it's a 14-7 game. Anderson County on top. All right, how about Gibbs tonight, taking on Heritage. Gibbs at home, and I tell you, this is another team, and Heritage as well, that a lot of people have been watching. Heritage got off to a great start this year.
Great start, not so great in the middle part.
Yeah, it's been kind of tough. Of course, when you're in there taking on, they played Alcoa last week and lost 47-0 to obviously a very good Alcoa team. eventually how they can bounce back. This is a team that's also looking to kind of find that momentum they had at the beginning of the season, now with a record of 3-4.
Yeah, right now though, Gibbs is the one who has the momentum just in terms of the season. They're on 3-win streak. Heritage coming in on a 3-straight loss streak. So completely different sides of the spectrum here. Heritage, right now they're 5th in the region. If they win out, they'll make the playoffs, but if they lose tonight, they are pretty much written out of it. So
what's interesting, a stat that jumped out at me on when you talk about Heritage, if I was reading everything correctly, they haven't lost on the road. They're 2-0 on the road.
Can't win at home.
Yeah. So maybe that plays to their advantage tonight. I don't know.
Definitely could.
Yeah, we'll have to see how this one goes.
And it looks like
Gibbs punting it away.
Yeah, Gibbs punting away. I mean, that is a gorgeous stadium also over there at Gibbs. What a beautiful stadium.
It wasn't that long ago, until they got the new stadium. They had to play one whole season anywhere but at Gibbs, as that work was being done.
And they kind of liked that. I remember them saying it felt like it gave them a little bit of something to play for. People didn't think that they were going to be able to do so well because they weren't playing at home. They didn't have that home atmosphere. Right. So something that they kind of carried with them, especially as they went into that first season over there in Coreyton with the new field and new facility. And
you talk about bringing a team together. I mean, that's one way to do it. Every game is a road game.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's for sure. So let's see how Heritage responds here after fielding the punt.
Not bad field position.
No,
for
not
them,
bad.
Not at all.
Not bad at all. And you want to take advantage of that, especially when you're on the road. We've seen Heritage play some really tight games this year. I want to say, was it Carter? I think we had him. There was another tight game that went down to the wire. Some they've come out on William Blount.
Tight for them.
Was
yes.
tight. Yeah. So
Alcoa is really the only, or one of the only losses that hasn't been tight for them. Both Carter and William Blount were very close.
And for Heritage, if they can win this one on the road, and you're saying that they get Union County next week, and that will be at Union County, but that is a winnable game for them.
Absolutely, yes.
So, and then again, Gibbs, obviously, they're going to finish out with Carter. You talk about a tough battle there to wrap up a season. That'll be an interesting one to watch.
And a lot of these teams with the playoff contentions, they're going up against each other tonight, right? So Gibbs right now is 3-2 inside the region. Heritage is, I believe, 2-3. So opposite. However, if Heritage were to win tonight, then they actually have the advantage over Gibbs because they would have the same region record. However, Heritage would have taken the win, so then that could put them in the playoffs, and it's so crazy that a loss the other way for Heritage could just completely shut them out because it would give Gibbs that 2-game advantage over them no matter what happens in the last week of the season.
Madden McNeil there was scrambling for his life, it looked like, on that last one. There's the scene setter, 3-0.
All right.
Gibbs, second quarter with 7:46. Yeah, so ball on the 22 right now, so this one can really go either direction. Still early on, first half, midway through the second quarter, but just a 3-0 game.
Something that Heritage was really focused on coming into this game was winning the turnover battle. They've been -5 in turnover ratio in the past 3 games. They have to be efficient also in the past game. I don't know if we'll get to see a little bit of that in this drive necessarily, but that is something that they were looking to kind of improve upon and get this offense, get themselves rolling again, get themselves back into the win column, Bo.
Jacob Donaldson with a great defensive play there for Gibbs. He was not fooled in that quick little flip that McNeil was trying to execute there. That one really didn't go anywhere. So third down now for the Mountaineers. And they'll take a look over toward the sideline here, trying to get something going. Tight ball game. We just showed you the scoreboard a few moments ago, a 3-0 game here. So let's see what McNeil and his crew can do. He's going to drop back again. A little better protection this time. And as soon as I say that, he's tackled from behind. Ball comes loose, but he may have already been down. I think I jinxed him. I said, hey, he's got some time, and then the next thing you know.
And right there, potentially 2 things that they did not want to do coming into this game. Allowing a turnover if he was not down, and then also that pass game getting limited. They wanted to be completely opposite of both of those things. So definitely not what Heritage was looking for.
Yeah. Seth Sieber, by the way, with the sack, 6'2", 225 pounds.
And they're going to have to punt it away, I believe.
And it's always nice when your quarterback can also punt. They're not going to fake it in this situation, right? But gives the opportunity of always running a fake if you need to. All right, so the ball rolls out of bounds. That's where Gibbs is going to take it over. We're going to take a break right now as the offense gets ready to come on right now for Gibbs. We've got much more Friday Frenzy Live for you. We're just getting started. We've got a full night of high school football. Hard to believe the regular season is almost over. Every game counts. We'll be right back. Getting up to date with all the latest, Friday Frenzy Live. Central down 14-7, but they come right back. A huge play here for the Cats. Look at this, winding his way. Wide open field from there on out. Huge touchdown, but this game's been back and forth, Casey.
Yeah, that's going to be Torrin McAfee, the senior, taking that one down, listed as a wide receiver there. And that was pretty.
It was pretty.
Zigging and zagging.
And we've been told that William Blount's already scored again. So now it's 21. That made it 14-14. We were just now hearing it's now 21-14.
And we'll get you that highlight, I'm sure, very soon. William Blount wasted no time in matching that one. Like you said, the score 21-14 over there.
So that game's so fast and furious, we can't keep up. All right, Karns and West right now. This one's been all West, but Karns is on the board. There you see a field goal for West. This made it, it may have made it 17-0. And then take a look at the next highlight coming up. Yeah, Karns then finally gets on the scoreboard. This time they go airborne. Great pass and catch here on the far side of the end zone. West said no. Ref said yeah. And it's 17-7 right now. West on top.
Like you said, West has just been rolling. I talked to Coach earlier in the week about what's really clicked. It just comes down to playing complementary football with the offense, defense, and special teams are all working together. It's as simple as that, Bo.
Yeah, it's just that simple.
Just got to get it working together, right? But yeah, that clicked for West 2 weeks ago. In the last 2 weeks, they've put together wins of over 50 points. Bo, in both of those last 2 games, they've scored more points in each of those games than they had the 5 games to start the season. They only scored 52 points through those first 5 weeks, and then those last 2 games they've put up over 50 points, 56 and 59 in those last 2 games. So huge for West recently.
Anderson County, South Doyle right now. We're going to keep an eye on this one for you as well. This one was tight. We saw Anderson County last time we checked in with the score. Looks like they may have recovered the kick as well. We'll see here. Both teams were excited. The Anderson County sideline was definitely jumping up and down, but I'm not sure. I haven't seen.
I'm hearing a lot of crowd noise if anyone doesn't have their volume turned up. So
eventually somebody's going to point a direction, but we'll see how they line this one up. But Anderson County and South Doyle tonight, down at South Doyle. And it's like first down South Doyle. All right. So there you go. There's the score. 21-14. So this has been another one. Anderson County up now 21-14. It has been back and forth on this one. And South Doyle has been tough at home this year, as we've seen a number of games from down there. They're having a great season. What were they, 1-9? And they had a horrible season last year.
They have not had a 4-win or more season since 2021. So back in 2021, they had 6 wins. Since then, 1-win seasons, 2-win seasons. They have already punched 4 wins on the season. So best season in 4 years for them.
Going up top.
Say South Doyle kind of has to go to the air.
More laundry.
We saw it on the scoreboard, about 41 seconds left in the first half. So they don't have time.
Well, they're going to get some good field position because there's the flag. So when you see that, you know the photographer already knows he's got to move another 10 yards, right? So Anderson County kind of keeping South Doyle, at least this drive, alive for them on the defensive pass interference. But yeah, South Doyle, at 4-4. Obviously, they're coming off a tough loss to Clinton last week, 24-0. But they're averaging 30 points a game. Got a nice little losing streak they'd like to snap tonight. But they've been 2-2 at home. They've allowed 25 points at home per game. So they like to they've already given up 21. So they're going to need to kind of dig in if they try to keep around their average for the rest of this game. This time they're throwing it right at you. Casey almost caught that one. Nice catch, nice little juke move there to avoid one tackle.
More yardage, potentially, if I would have caught that.
The elusive
maybe.
ACK, yes.
Something about South Doyle, they lost Benson Bragg to an ACL injury, so that's kind of why we've seen these last 2 weeks. Their offense has only scored 7 points in the last 2 games. Coach kind of attributed it to that. They're trying to figure out how to make it work without Bragg because he was a huge piece to what they had been doing offensively.
Reed Reynolds, the intended target on that one, but the pass just a little too far out in front of him, down about 9.6 seconds. I tell you what, as good as Anderson County's playing right now, even if you go down 21-14 into the locker room, South Doyle still has to feel pretty good about themselves.
You absolutely. I mean, it's more points than they've scored combined in the last 2 weeks. So they're getting the offense moving a little bit more. They've had a little bit more time without Bragg to kind of figure it out. Those last 2 weeks, just kind of, that gut punch of losing your quarterback, losing a guy that you've relied on this season. I mean, nothing that Anderson County isn't familiar with. They had to do the same thing with JD.
That's true. That's a great point.
I mean, 2 teams who can relate to each other
a
little bit.
That is a great point. And hats off to what Anderson County's been able to do without their quarterback. Now they've got him back. But what they were able to accomplish, still putting up some pretty good point totals each week.
We'll see if South Doyle can get this done with just a handful of seconds on the clock. Looks like
Where
they're going to go
is the
for the
football?
air.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, and it's almost intercepted, almost picked off.
That one had everybody fooled. I think we were all trying to figure out where the football went. Reese Russell, nice defensive play there to bat that one down.
It looks like it's about 2.3 seconds on the clock. Not sure if South Doyle has another down here to use.
So only speculating, but
they
was
do,
that like a
third and
halfback
one.
pass maybe? I'm thinking maybe the flip to the running back is. It looked like Reynolds, or I should say Loveday, the quarterback went left, but the pass came from his right.
Yeah,
so
they've tried some different things offensively,
yeah,
they're trying to figure out what
trying to play
works for
sleuth
them.
here
Yeah.
to figure out how that one just transpired. But regardless, yeah, with just a little over 2 seconds here to go, 21-14 is the score. Can't believe we're already at halftime.
I know, these games are flying tonight, and South Doyle knows they need to get something going offensively because they know J.D. Gillum is no joke.
Yeah.
Coach, L.A., as they call him, told me that J.D. completely changes their offense because he gives them such a vertical passing game. I think that's why we saw those 80-some points last week against Union County, which was a school record for Anderson County last week, by the way, setting the most points in a single game. I texted Coach and I put LOL in quotes because I was like, I mean, it has to be, right? And he was like, it is. You're right.
Well, we had some big record-breaking
We
weeks.
had a big record-breaking
Obviously, you're talking about Anderson County,
season.
but Pigeon Forge,
Yes.
who's had a tough season, changed things up, and you get a kid that comes in, our player of the week, and comes in and just turns everything
Yeah,
on its
Aiden
head.
Hood from Pigeon Forge turns absolutely everything upside down for Pigeon Forge last week, and wouldn't tell me if they were going to make that little switcheroo again. So we'll have to see tonight or next week if Pigeon Forge, not one of the games we have tonight, but if they happen to pull the same thing and he's able to put up those similar numbers.
Yeah, but it was pretty impressive. Another timeout called here. Obviously, it's going to be the last play of the half. South Doyle wants to make sure they get it right. Anderson County wants to make sure they got the right defense set out there, right? You pretty much know what they're going to do, right? You're going to have to throw the football.
Yeah, but they don't want another Tennessee Vols situation. Last play of the half gets run back, and then you're entering halftime down. What would that make
Why are you bringing that up? Well,
hey, usually when I say the opposite happens, Bo.
Okay. Good to know. Good to know.
Yeah, South Doyle's trying to figure out how they can go into this one tied up at 21, and Anderson County's trying to figure out how can we go into the locker room up 14 and not just 7.
Hey, I do got to point out, we're talking about Gillum and his performance against Union County. I was counting down. He utilized 10 different players on the receiving end. I mean, he can go to so many different people.
Yeah,
And
Davey Gillum
sometimes
was
that's overlooked.
very
We always talk about the
impressed
QB,
by
but
that offensively.
we don't always talk about. We always talk about the quarterback. We don't always talk about the wide receiving core over there.
Yeah.
All right, here you go.
South
Final
Doyle's
play.
Chance. Someone's got it.
Oh, Anderson
And
County's got it on the
it.
pitch. Oh, here we go. The hot potato. And that one's going nowhere. All right.
That was still fun, though.
It was still
That was fun to finish out the half with. I liked that.
But the nice interception there to kind of wrap things up. Again, Reese Russell, the senior safety, coming down with it. So that's how we're going to be, 21-14 as we head into the break there. We'll be coming back after this one to keep you up to date on what's going on. Being interesting to see how this one plays out. All right, William Blount Central. This game's been like a tennis match. It's just back and forth. Every time one team scores, the other team comes right back down.
Yeah, we picked right for the game of the week, Bo.
Yeah, no question. Here comes Central. Take a look at it. This is live. Look, there they go. See, we're not kidding. Oh, okay, so this is recorded as I'm being told. All right, even though it says live up there in the corner. So that was.
Now we're live.
Yeah, now we're live. Are we live? Is this live?
No.
Okay, so this is live. All right. So we saw J.J. Sacki there with the touchdown.
So Central missed some sort of extra
there it
point.
is. Yeah, 21-20. All right. And 2:28 to go here in the second half. So just a little bit of time to go. William Blount's got a 1-point lead. They're going to look to add to it here. They're going to try to milk the clock. Casey, we've been talking about that. Sometimes that's your best defense against a really good offense. Just keep them off the field.
Yeah, William Blount playing to extend their season beyond next week is kind of what their motivation, I would think, is coming into this one. And Jackson Browski's not going to get anything on that and slams the ground. He's not happy about it.
Yeah, he didn't have a whole lot of help out there. We've seen him really having to use the legs. Sometimes I'm not sure that's what he was intending to do, but not getting a lot of time back there to set up. So. Still got the ball, though.
William Blount's offense looking a little bit more put together than it was last week when they only had 14 points against West. Again, they were averaging around 40 points a game for William Blount prior to last week, and then that's obviously going to take their average down a little bit with only those 14 points. But back in the saddle now.
They were scoring like double figures in every quarter.
Yes.
At the beginning of the season.
That was rare for them last week. They had another game this season where they scored 16. They were a little bit outmatched, but yeah, the low teens definitely not normal for William Blount.
Yeah, Tay Williams on the receiving end there as they are continuing their drive. We do want to check in here on another game that we're watching for you. This is Heritage at Gibbs. We're going to head there here and just kind of get you up to date. They're getting close to the end of the half. 3-0 was the last time we were watching this one. Still is, I understand. Here's Gibbs looking to add to their lead, and will we see a flag on this one? They're asking for it. Everybody's arms are up in the air, but the ref said, I don't think so. So
you're always
no
going to see the teams asking for it.
Well, yeah. Well, I even was kind of
you were asking
I had one
for it.
hand up in the air. I wasn't sure if I needed to put two.
You weren't fully committed to it.
No, I wasn't fully committed.
Fully committed.
But hey, you know what? Let's give some kudos to the defense then there for Heritage. A good play. No call on that one.
Hey, the crowd's calling for it too.
Yeah, they are. They are. All right, Gibbs not going to waste any time here. They've got to get right back at it.
To waste, Bo.
Yeah, Keith Jones Jr., the quarterback. Well, he's got a little bit of time.
You know, that's a quarterback that Coach Brad Turner was eyeing up when he was in middle school to be a dynamic player in this high school reign. You know, I believe he's a sophomore, so he's someone that Coach has had his eye on for a while. You know, you lose last year's quarterback to graduation, and he kind of already knew Keith was up and coming. They got him right in the saddle, got him ready to go. Someone that Coach was really big on coming into this year.
34 seconds to go. Tucker Omby with a nice carry there down near the sideline, finally knocked out of bounds. The junior, again, picking up some much-needed yards here as Gibbs looks to add to their 3-0 lead before they head into the locker room with, as we mentioned, about 34 seconds left to go in the half. All right, here's the quick pass.
There.
Yeah, nice catch, but no yards after catch. Good coverage there by the Heritage defense.
Yeah, it's going to be number 20, Thomas Bowers for Heritage on the tackle there, senior.
We need to give some more love to these defensive players. We always talk about the offense, right?
Yeah, we're trying to shout them out. We're trying to give them. Sometimes they get, lost in the pile, though. You can't see them. That was caught inbounds, I think.
Yeah, I think he got it. It looked like maybe he bobbled it a little bit. I wasn't sure if he had control of that one, but the ref was there.
It looks like we got only 8.8 seconds, though. So, I mean, max 2 plays, I would think.
DeJuan Harris.
See what they go with. I would go with a pass.
I think so, too. Keith Jones, look for the sideline.
Yeah, try to get out and then get another one in.
Maybe he can hear us.
We can only hope, right?
Keith,
we obviously know
best. Go to the sidelines, Keith. Yeah.
We obviously should be the offensive coordinator.
Yeah, obviously. Sure. All right, there you go, right toward the sideline, and a nice grab.
Kind of identical to what we just saw, but a little less bobbled around that time.
So let's see, where are they going to put this? About the 36-yard line, 3.7 seconds.
Maybe the lowest scoring half that I've seen this year. What about you, Bo?
No, I think you're right. They're going to try to make it 6-0. They must have a kicker with a leg here. All right.
Number 14.
Number 14, that's Mikkel Van Pelt. He's a senior. We got a timeout.
Yeah, Joe Ossovet there, head coach of Heritage.
All right, let's go back to William Blount real quick. Just to peek in while we got this timeout, we'll come back and see if Van Pelt can split the uprights and give Gibbs a 6-0 lead. We got another touchdown. Every time we tune in, boy, this is something. So Central scoring, what do we got here? I think that's Torrin McAfee on the score there for the Cats.
And that's going to give them the lead.
Yeah.
They were down 21-20. That was with last time we checked in, which was with just over 2 minutes left. So obviously we'll see them go for the extra point or if they go for 2 here. But right now they're sitting at 26-21 before the point after.
Was he in? The scoreboard still said 21-20.
Maybe we got ahead of ourselves.
Oh, there it is. Thank you. Yes, I was going to say. All right.
Yeah, back and forth, ping pong match, like you said, Bo.
Let's see if they go for the 2 to make it the 28 instead of just sitting here with the 26. Let's see. I think that's looks like.
Is that what you would do?
No, I'm very conservative. I'd probably just kick the extra
just
point.
Just kick it, see what happens.
Take the 6-point lead, but that's why I'm not a coach.
Looks like, yeah, it definitely looks like they're
Caden Long is in
here.
there. Yeah, actually, that is the smart play. Let's, because it's still whether you make it or not,
Yeah.
So here we go. Quick pass, far side of the end zone, broken up. There you go. Well, see, I would have kicked it.
Easy to say now, Bo.
Yeah, right.
Easy to say now that it fell incomplete, right? Still going to give them the lead, though. 26-21 with 37 seconds left remaining.
Yeah. Let's get back out to Gibbs. I understand we're going to head back out there and see if the kick was no good. All right, so Van Pelt misses. So there they go. Good shot of everybody running back to the locker room. So 3-0.
Very low scoring.
Did not expect that.
And Heritage is fighting to get themselves back out of that rut that they've been getting into. They were looking to stop the run for Gibbs, and obviously with just 3 points on the board, they have been able to limit the Eagles offensively.
Yeah, Brett Turner not looking too happy there, walking off his team with a 3-point lead. So Ozavet's got to feel pretty good, though. I mean, even though you're down, but it's only 3-0 on the road at a pretty good Gibbs team.
Yeah, two other teams that are kind of playing to be in that playoff picture. Like I said before, if the season were to end now, Gibbs would be in. Heritage is sitting right behind them in 4A Region 2. Kind of whoever wins tonight has the edge because they would pop over the other one. So Heritage fighting to stay in the playoff picture. If they lose tonight, then they're pretty much out. Gibbs would still have a chance, but it makes it a little bit less secure for them.
All right, good look at the night sky as we get ready to a beautiful night. I mean, great fall night.
I think it's probably a little cold out there, Bo. We could have a
but that's what football is about. But that's what football.
Coldest game I've been to during my time here, though, in 3 years was Oak Ridge. I believe it was the week before the state championship last year.
Oh, okay.
I had to get hot chocolate. It was too cold. It's too cold. However, I've never had to really wear a big winter jacket for any state championship game here. Much different than when I was in West Virginia, and it was about 10 degrees for the state championship.
Yeah. Plus at least you're heading south, right? You're about an hour and a half down to
Chattanooga.
You're a
little hotter.
Maybe a little warmer. I don't know. But
you think it doesn't make that much of a difference, but it's supposed to be about 8 degrees colder in Lexington tomorrow night than it is here. It's supposed to get down into the 40s by the time that game ends.
I'll be thinking about you as I'm sitting on the couch in my
while you're all comfy, cozy, and I'm
watching that game. Right, exactly. I'll be looking for you out there on the sidelines.
Yes.
A little break in the action there for William Blount and Central, but again, this one back and forth, 26-21. A lot of points so far in this game.
A lot of points. Both two teams, though, that we could expect that from, right? Obviously, last week was a little uncharacteristic for William Blount, only having those 14 points, but two teams that have really been offensively explosive. No question why. They both have those seasoned quarterbacks, Jackson Dabrowski for William Blount and Caden Long for Central, two guys who are really making waves offensively for both of those teams this year.
And Central coming off a tight game, a 38-35 win over Halls.
They've had a lot of tight games.
And they really have.
In the last 3 weeks.
They've won, the 2-game win streak, both by 3 points.
Yes.
So,
and the week before, they lost to Powell by 1 score. Something that kind of helped propel them into how do we win this type of game over the last 2 weeks.
And right now you got a 5-point game here. So again, another tight game. They're finding a way to pull these games out for the most part. I mean, they are 6-2, but they are finding a way to win these games. So let's see what happens. They are 2-1 at home, 4-1 on the road. So they'd love to better that home record. Looks like they're going to march a penalty off here before the kick. So.
After that Powell loss, they went back to the basics and just continued being us, and continuing to be them has led them into 2 close wins over the last 2 weeks. That's for Central, that is.
Yeah, only losses, Powell and Dobbins-Bennett. So you really can't
both by a score?
Frown at that.
Yeah.
I mean, both are two good programs.
They're about 13, 14 points away from being undefeated. That's really all it is.
Yeah, and
for Central.
They're going to finish out against Karns, who right now, as we've been showing you, trailing in their game right now against West. I tell you, West is a team I wouldn't want to play right now.
Yeah, no, they've got a lot of momentum. Like we said earlier, just everything's clicking for them.
Yeah. All right, so William Blount, they're going to get the football here. Central on the kick. They've got a 5-point lead. And we got about 14 seconds left, and that one rolls through the end zone and out of play. So there you go. Actually, not 14, 37 seconds.
That's what it was last time we checked in.
Yeah.
They haven't taken any time off the clock.
I was given bad information.
Not your fault, though.
No, I'm just messing with our crew. I love everybody up there. All right, let's see what's going on.
Got to keep them on their toes, though.
I know. Here we go. All right. Jackson Dabrowski out of the shotgun, hands it off. Really, nice job by the Central defense there. There really wasn't much of a hold.
That clock's going to keep running. Oh, no, maybe not. Maybe he called a timeout. That's Kevin Lane
this is like exactly
for
what
Central.
He did. Yep. I mean, the way this game's going, is he thinking, well, maybe we can get the ball back?
Why not? It seems like anything's in the pitcher.
Yeah.
Central has yet to lose in region play, so they've solidified a playoff spot. It's more William Blount that's kind of fighting for their life to be extended this season.
Yeah. And we've seen Central really pull off some great games. I want to say that was the game where we had Sam Gramble down at McMinn County.
Yeah,
I mean, what a
it
huge
was.
win on the road.
24-21 win on the road there.
Just an exciting win there for Central. So.
And then they turn around and they beat Halls 38-35 last Thursday. Like you said, 2 games that were just separated by 3 points.
As you mentioned earlier, both these teams next week to wrap up the regular season. William Blount at Campbell County. Campbell County coming into tonight 0-8 on the season. And as we said, Central, they're going to be taking on Karns. Karns 3-5 and trailing right now to West. So both teams, they got to feel pretty good about what they could possibly pull off in the last week of the season. Of course, still got to play the game. So tonight a win for either one would be massive, more so as you've been pointing out for William Blount, though.
Now, William Blount could lose tonight and win next week, but then it becomes out of their hands, kind of their fate. You know, they have to rely on some other people to lose. Yeah, some help from their friends and foes from the region.
All right, Gavin Robinson there on the end around. It looked like a nice pickup for him.
And a lot of commotion, a lot of communication.
Yeah. I guess another timeout. All right, we're going to get back in position here. Looks like Sam Rothman making her way through the team.
It's going to get us right through there, right up, right front row seat to the sideline. Front row seat to the sideline.
A lot of these games now coming up on the half, as we've been mentioning. So keep your eyes peeled. We'll have the scores for you there at the bottom. You see that Grace score up 6-0 in the second on Lakeway Christian. Grace is one of those teams we're still talking about from the Sevier County win and how they would react.
That's going to last the rest of the season.
Oh my goodness,
that was huge.
And how they would react from last week. But again, they came back out, looked good, picked up yet another win. So Grace seems to be rolling right now. All right, we're back out live with the William Blount Central game.
And Grace is back at home after playing 3 games on the road. So they had to go on the road the last 3 games, and now they're back at home playing in front of that Grace crowd, which they were excited about heading into Week 10.
All right,
Jackson
fakes the
Browski.
handoff, yep, and then wide open, great play, great catch.
Pretty.
And
he's off.
It's a sprint. Will they get him? Tackle from behind. Yeah, he's down about the 5-yard line, but what a great catch and a great run, Braden Bird.
I'd like to see that again.
Yeah. Tight end, sophomore, 6'3", 205 pounds. Huge pickup there for William Blount. So we're going to let Sam get downfield, get down there by the end zone. We'll see if William Blount can either tie this thing up or, let's see, well, it's a 5-point game. They can't do that. So they can retake the lead here before the end of the half.
Yeah, I asked Coach to give me some players that he's been really big on offensively. Braden Bird, one of those guys. One of those guys that we just saw.
I mean, he kind of reached out, hauled that thing in. I mean, a great catch. Didn't break stride. But you know,
I wouldn't say right in the breadbasket. He kind of made the bread. He kind of made. I know
one hand and kind of brought it in. Yeah. But he made it seem easy and never broke stride.
Yeah.
It didn't bobble. Just kind of okay. Got
I'll
it.
Take
took
it.
Off.
I'll take it. It's mine.
It's mine, and I'm running now. But kudos to Central. They chased him down to about the 5-yard line. So.
Bigger guy to get down took 2, I believe, to get him down there.
2 or 3 guys down there. That's for sure. Yeah.
Takes a lot of hustle to get that many guys down there. To Central's credit.
So we'll see if they go to the big tight end again, or is Dabrowski this time even from 5 yards out? Does he just keep it?
It's not like we haven't seen him do it before.
I know. You also have Aiden Klein in there, another option for you. There are a lot of weapons offensively for this William Blount team. Dabrowski is going to keep it. There's the pass and the touchdown.
Caught that in coverage.
There you go, the tight end. If it worked once, why not again? Braden Bird.
Another one that just felt easy, though, on the way that he's catching those passes from Dabrowski.
So that gives William Blount a 1-point lead. Here's the question. Do you go for 2, try to get it at least up by a field goal, or do you just try to kick it through? There's no time on the clock, as you saw, so they're going to get the extra point here. They still got to play that out. I'm almost saying you go for 2.
That looks like what they're lining up for because Jackson Dabrowski is back on the field. Why not? Then you're up by a field goal. At least, I mean, there's a lot of time still left to play, and obviously we've seen 27-26, so we've seen a lot of points be scored. I'm sure the second half will be the same. See if he can make it into the end zone.
A couple missed tackles, and he does. Did he get in?
He could have been pushed out a little bit out of bounds beforehand, but it looks like it's good. Getting the high five from the teammate, looks like it worked.
Gavin Robeson with the catch and a nice little juke move. A couple of them there to get into the end zone. So that should wrap up the half. Oh. Well, I hear a couple whistles.
Refs aren't happy.
So we're going to wait till we get the official verification from our photographer there. We'll get a look at the scoreboard here in a second. Well, they do have 29-26.
So they're going to be up by 3, pending any dirty laundry.
Well, no one's,
as you like to call it.
No one's running off the field just yet. Central's still holding ground here on the sidelines.
I don't know what they're taking a gander at.
Do we have a player down right there? Is that what they're? Okay, let's see. Okay.
It excuse me. It does look like William Blount is exiting in the back there off of the field. So I think
looks like
it's a little bit blocked by the coaches, but maybe not.
Well, Central's. Okay, we're going to take a break, and we'll let you know what the score is at halftime.
We're going to figure out what's happening over there at Central.
More Friday Frenzy Live in just a moment. Welcome back to Friday Frenzy Live. Bo Williams along with KCK. Halftime for a lot of these games right now. One of those which is a little closer than we thought, or at least lower scoring than we thought.
Definitely lower scoring than we thought.
Gibbs and Heritage, 3-0.
Yeah, I think that may be the lowest I've seen a score at halftime this year. We're going to bring in sports director Sam Granville. He's over there at Gibbs in Coreyton for this one. Obviously, defense, Sam, has, I guess, been the name of the game for both of these teams. What have you seen on both sides for Gibbs and Heritage?
Yeah, that can pretty much sum up the first half. defensive battle. You didn't have to hear that from me to know that based on the scoreboard, but it has been a defensive battle here in the first half. What we saw right out of the gate was Heritage, they had the opening kickoff and good field position around the 50-yard line, and then on their first play from scrimmage, we saw a fumble. Gibbs takes over, and then they're marching right down the field, and we're like, okay, Gibbs about to get on the board within the first 2 minutes of the contest. No, Heritage, they get a stop, and then they're forced to kick that first field goal, the only points of the game right now, as we've seen that 3-0 score. So that opening drive from Gibbs was the only points, and then from there it was a lot of maybe one first down, and then let's go send it out to the punter. It's been a lot of defense, some big plays from both sides. I've seen defenders all over the place, multiple sacks from both teams, specifically Gibbs. They've got some guys that are really getting after the quarterback like you saw when you checked in briefly on the live look. But so far it's been a defensive battle. And it might be safe to say they're a little cold out here, and not just cold like they haven't played in a week cold, but cold like it's hard for them to hang on to the ball right now. I've seen the ball fumbled a couple of times, and it looks like they're like, okay, we're actually trying to physically warm up out here, and then maybe in the second half, once the guys are a little more warm, we'll see some more points on the board. But so far, yeah, defense has been the name of the game.
Yeah, that's the problem when it starts getting cold one week and then these players aren't necessarily prepared yet. They don't have their football gear on. When it's a defensive battle like this, Sam, it's easy, offensively when things get rolling for a team to really grab a hold of the momentum. Do you feel like one team has more of the momentum right now, Gibbs or Heritage, or it's kind of up in the air? Someone's got to take that momentum and run away with it to get this win in the second half.
I do think Heritage has seemed to hold on to the ball a little bit longer than Gibbs has tonight as a whole, but it seems like there's a little more offensive flow from Gibbs, so that might not make any sense to you, but we've just seen a few more big plays from Heritage, a few less breakaway plays from the Eagles, but as far as sustaining a drive, moving the ball slowly up the field, Gibbs seems to be holding it there, but as far as big plays, breakaway plays, it's definitely been a Heritage, but as we've seen in the past from some schools, whenever you get those breakaway plays, the holding call is kind of what pulls you back in the opposite direction. So that's what I've seen so far, is that Heritage might have the time of possession, but as far as who seems to have more of a flow to their offense, who seems to be getting the plays up the field like you saw on that last-minute drive from Gibbs as they're getting those out routes to the sideline, they seem a little more succinct, a little more in rhythm than Heritage. But for some reason, Heritage seems to hold on to the ball a little bit longer. And then, as we saw, Mikel Van Pelt, he's been fantastic as a kicker this season. They gave him a shot to hit about a 50-yarder before going into the half. That one got tipped. So I think had it not gotten tipped, he would have had a shot to send it through. We saw him hit a 50-yarder against Anderson County earlier this season. So he's definitely got the leg, but that one going into the break seemed to be tipped coming off the line, and that's why it was nowhere near the goalpost when put up in the air.
All right, Sam. Hey, listen, we appreciate it. I'm just going to bring back, you can make any game sound exciting. We sent you up to Scott for Scott and Kingston. You remember it was like either scoreless or 7-0. But you remember the second half, things got pretty exciting. So I have a feeling the second half of this game is going to be pretty exciting for you, my friend.
Hey, I got my fingers crossed. We're hoping for a barn burner.
He's ready for it.
Yeah, let's bring that barn burner on.
Ready for it. Thank you so much, Sam.
All right, Sam, appreciate it. I think we're going to take another break. Friday Frenzy Live will continue. We got second half here to kick off in a lot of areas.
Lots of stuff still left.
Oh, and a lot of close games for you as well. So keep it tuned. All right, welcome back to Friday Frenzy Live. If you're wondering, there was 4 seconds left on the clock, Central and William Blount, and this is how it finished. Central, a little razzle-dazzle here, a little almost rugby style. We're just going to keep lateraling it, but again, they couldn't get into the end zone, and that is how the half ended between William Blount and Central. So William Blount, high scoring first half, 29-26 William Blount.
And they were just relentless because William Blount had the ball the last time we checked in. Not that many seconds on the clock. We saw Kevin Lane call a timeout. We're like, why is he doing that? For Central, you're like, maybe he's trying to pause the clock so he can get the ball back. That's exactly what Central did. They weren't letting anything go to chance. They wanted to give it a shot.
But William Blount with that late score and then went for 2 to make sure they got a 3-point lead going in. That is huge for William Blount and what is a pivotal game for them here with, if you count this weekend, 2 weekends left to go in the regular season.
And they want more than that, which is why it is such a pivotal game. Like we said, Central already secure in that playoff spot. William Blount with more to fight for, more to play for on that side of things.
All right, let's go out to Anderson County, South Doyle. We got third quarter action now underway. At half, it was a 21-14 game, Anderson County. Actually, they're playing at South Doyle. But 21-14 is the score. South Doyle has to feel good about that, but now Anderson County up 27-21, and it looks like they're getting ready to tack on an extra point, make it 28-21. So South Doyle has tacked on a touchdown. Anderson County has tacked on a touchdown because it was 21-14 at the break. Now it's 28-21.
Exciting beginning. Yeah. I mean, it said 10-something left on the clock for the third quarter, so all of that happened within the first 2 minutes. We're being told that that score came off of a very long run for South Doyle. So is the one who just scored.
Was that Anderson County just kicked the extra point?
So it was
right?
a long run for Anderson County.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
But before that,
long run for the Anderson County. However,
this is how South Doyle scored.
Doyle scored.
Well, actually, this is how Anderson County scored. They had the run up the middle. There you go. So this was earlier for Anderson County as they punched it in. But this game has been back and forth. A lot of the games we're seeing tonight, we're seeing this. A lot of these teams kind of duking it out here. And then South Doyle had a big play. They had a pick six, is what I'm being told, is how they scored quickly. And now we're back live. Anderson County coming off of their touchdown and extra point, and now it is a 28-21 game. So we'll see if South Doyle can counter just as quick as Anderson County countered on them.
Glad we got that all straightened out.
I don't even know if it made any sense, but I do know the score is 28-21.
That's all you need to know.
That's all I need to know. There's already been a lot of scoring.
South Doyle's about to get the ball back.
We've only played about just a handful of minutes here in the second half.
And that's why we're trying to get everything straight for you guys. Make sure you know exactly what happened. And they're going to field it. Oh, he's going to break through. All right.
South Doyle, so this will be good field position.
Going to give the Cherokee some great field position there.
Out to about the 32, 33-yard line, so a good return there for South Doyle. My goodness. It's like between this game and the William Blount game, I'm tired just watching these teams run up and down the field.
Yeah, South Doyle looking to extend their season to 5 wins. Like we said before, right now they're sitting with the most wins they've had since 2021. A credit to the growth on and off the field for the Cherokees. They still have a long way to go, in words of head coach L.A. As I said, that's the nickname that they call him, that his team that calls him, that he goes by. It's been a learning process for them this year, but they've grown from every situation. You know, they've lost in overtime, they've had big wins, they've had big defeats, they've learned from it all.
Nice little cut back there for South Doyle. Picks up a handful of yards as they continue to move the ball downfield. I'm understanding we've got that touchdown from South Doyle, so let's see if we can take a look at that here as we're going to bring this back to you. This is a pick six, so first play, second half. This is why all of a sudden
I'm assuming this is the big run I was talking about.
That is the big run, yes. So a big run.
I knew there was one in there somewhere.
Reed Reynolds, it looks like, on the pick six there for South Doyle. And that's why when we popped in just a few minutes into the second half, we already had a handful of touchdowns. Take a look at it one more time here. You can see there, he was right there. Ball came right to him.
Right to him. Running right back. He had a clear line, too. No one was getting him. Took off. Now we're going to pick it back up live. Anderson County at South Doyle.
All right, South Doyle with the football, as we showed you a few moments ago. Anderson County, after that pick six, came right back downfield, scored a touchdown, got the extra point, 28-21. Now that we've got the full picture, we're going to follow this live for you. We know what
everything looked like. We're all straightened out. Now we're ready to pick things back on up. So South Doyle, like I said, has 4 wins. However, 2 of them have only been inside the region, which is what's hurting them in terms of the playoff picture. If they want to be in, they got to win tonight.
Quick pass is dropped, so again, they'll huddle back up here for South Doyle. Going to check in with our own Sam Rothman. We heard from Sam Granville a few moments ago. We're going to check in with Sam Rothman coming up here right now. She has been covering the other game that's been like a tennis match, back and forth, that William Blount Central game. William Blount, the Governor's up by 3.
I would say that we expected it, but after last week, I wasn't sure with William Blount's offense, but now both of these offenses very much back in their groove tonight. Sam, what offense, Central, William Blount, which one has impressed you the most, would you say?
I would say William Blount has impressed me the most, especially quarterback Jackson Dabrowski. I mean, he's been doing it all for his team. You talked about how that game was going quick early on in that first quarter. Well, it was all him. It was all runs by him, facing 3rd and long, facing 4th and short. All him. He just took the ball and ran with it and made sure that he extended that drive. I've really been impressed with his composure. At times, it's felt like his offensive line hasn't had his back and he's had to make a play out of nothing, but he's really taken that on his back and been able to do that. Now, obviously, Central's offense, you kind of understood what they had coming into the game with Caden Long. You hear about the passing numbers. He really hasn't ran that much. He has been going to the air, a lot of targets on this team, but we kind of expected that with Central, so I've been really impressed with William Blount and the fact that they were able to get that big touchdown at the end, momentum shift into halftime. Maybe we'll see how that can carry over here as we start the second half.
A game like this, Sam, where it's kind of ping-ponging back and forth. You got two experienced quarterbacks, both under center for both of these teams, and we're just rocking and rolling offensively. What's the most exciting part for you?
Then I'm getting a workout in. I'm just running back and forth, so it's great. I feel like I'm hard at work tonight. I feel like a couple of the game of weeks I've been at this year, I haven't been really hard at work, so it's been fun. It's also just really fun to see the competitiveness between these two teams. We talked about it early on, what William Blount is playing for. Central maybe not playing for as much. They kind of, if Powell, Powell's kind of basically locked up that first seed in the region, but William Blount, their backs are against the wall, playoff hopes on the line, and they sure are playing like it. So it's been really fun to see how after a loss like last week, you guys talked about it, that West loss wasn't good. Right now, West is a different team, it seems like, in this last half of the stretch, but still you felt like William Blount should have won that game with the offense that they had coming into it and that offense that was shut down. So it's really nice to see, and I'm sure Coach Robert Rees is happy with his team's offense right now. I'm sure defensive coaches are not happy on either sideline. It's just been all offense, back and forth, back and forth. But as a fan, it's been really fun to watch, and it's been fun with my camera watching it too, getting my workout in, getting my steps in. Yeah,
that's for sure. Yeah, obviously it's going to be whoever's defense can figure out how to step it up here. I think in the second half is going to be who probably pulls this thing out. But Casey and I have been talking about this, and you've probably heard us talking about it. This is common for Central, it seems like here, especially down the stretch, these 3-point, 2-point games. I mean, so for them, this is nothing out of the ordinary.
Right, and you have to feel that maybe that gives Central the upper hand a little bit, that they've been in these close, tight games, and the Bobcats know how to pull out the win. They know they faced adversity. Right now, I feel like Central's backs are against the wall in this ping-pong match, because every single time Central has done something, William Blount has had the answer on every single drive. So I'm interested to see, can William Blount keep this going, keep that offense going, because you know that Central has been in this spot before and they know how to pull out a win. William Blount maybe hasn't. It's been kind of lopsided wins for them and lopsided losses. So again, I think, Bo, you said it perfectly. It's going to come down to who can get that defensive stop when it's really necessary. Maybe it's fourth quarter with a minute left on the clock. That'd be fun, right?
Yeah, it'd be fun for us. That's for sure. Hey, there's 4 minutes left. We see the clock behind you, so go stretch, lay down, whatever you need to do. It's going to be a busy second half for you.
Getting your workout in.
Thanks, guys.
All right, thanks, Sam. I can't wait to see how this one plays out. This is going to be a good game. Hey, stay with us. We'll be right back. We got more Friday Frenzy Live in a moment. Welcome back to Friday Frenzy Live, and third quarter action for you. South Doyle strikes the big run up the middle, touchdown. Here's the deal, the extra point was no good, but it is a 28-27 game.
Yeah, Mill Crenshaw on that run right there. Sure, he's got some jets on him.
Yeah,
That was pretty
he does.
quick.
He gave him a little bit of
Moving
room.
and grooving.
Yeah, he was off and running. So we're going to pick this one up live now. Again, a one-point game, but I think this was a lot closer than I think we thought this could be a good game, but a one-point game halfway through the third quarter right now. I mean, it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, definitely a little bit tighter than we would have expected. AC gets hands on it barely, but makes that play happen. You would say you wouldn't expect it. However, South Doyle is the closest any team inside the region has played Alcoa. I know that seems kind of, are we comparing games here and there? But South Doyle has shown that they can go up against the best of them.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And that is just a big example of that. I mean, yes, Alcoa beat them by 31 points, but we're seeing Alcoa beat people by 60-some points this year. So in the grand scheme of things, they were able to get points on the board against Alcoa, also hard to come by this year. So they've played tough opponents, and they know how to handle them, and now they've got a rhythm with their new quarterback.
Gillum, quick release there for the completion, but really nowhere to go. Good coverage that time. Lavelle on the receiving end of that one, but again, the Heritage DBs doing their job. Or South Doyle DBs, sorry, getting mixed up with Heritage. All right, speaking of Heritage, let's go check in on the Mountaineers. They're in a tight game with Gibbs. This is a 3-0 ball game at the break, and looks like maybe the ball came loose. Who's got it? It looks like Heritage has recovered. So Gibbs driving. Was it Gibbs driving? Who's got the? Yeah, okay. Gibbs was driving. Heritage recovers. So. Well, there's some.
There's your dirty laundry for you.
Play the Don Henley music.
However, if Heritage does get this, going in their favor, that's exactly what they wanted. They wanted to win these battles on turnovers, get a few more going in their favor than they have in their last 3 weeks that have equated to their last 3 losses. They wanted to win the turnover battle.
This is one of those, we were talking with Sam Granville there at the break, and, talking about the defense on this one. The defense, as he said, really getting after the QB. Gibbs' defense has been playing tough, but Heritage, they've been digging in. So, first down, Heritage. There you go. And so, the Mountaineer offense will come out, and they'll see if they can get some points on the board in this one, trailing 3-0. Gibbs has got to be sitting there going, what do we got to do? We're beating ourselves. Yeah. We get in close to the red zone, and we just can't do anything with it.
Going up against a team that is coming in 0-3 on the last 3 weeks. Can't undersell anyone. And Brad Turner certainly wasn't head coach for Gibbs, certainly wasn't underselling anyone. I asked him what made Heritage vulnerable. He said, we feel Heritage is a really well-coached football team. He wasn't going to give any slip-ups there. I wasn't going to give any insight into really what's equated to those 3 losses for their opponent. But they weren't selling anyone short.
All right, Anderson County just punted. South Doyle had a great return. You can see where they're going to set up here. They're knocking on the door.
Yeah, wow.
Let's see where they put the ball down. He keeps walking. The ref is gaining all kinds of yards.
Yeah, the ref is.
There it is, all right, the 11-yard
yards in South Doyle's favor.
Yeah, he's put it down to the 16. So this is where South Doyle will get it, and it's all about field position, right? So off the punt, special teams putting South Doyle in a good position here. They trail 28-27. So they now have an opportunity, whether it's through a field goal or a touchdown, to retake the lead here in a game that really has been back and forth. Whistles, timeouts. So there you go. I want to say the Anderson County may have called this one.
Yeah, you get set up inside the 20, maybe a little bit more of a game plan to try and prohibit South Doyle from taking the lead, because as we've said, this one has gone back and forth. However, Anderson County has really maintained control as they've kind of ping-ponged back and forth. If I'm not mistaken, they've maintained at least a tie or a lead the entire game. They have not fallen behind after it got tied up 7-7. They've kind of maintained in front. So they don't want to give South Doyle any momentum in this back half later in this ball game.
Well, we're saying it's 28-27. You look at the averages so far this season, Anderson County averaging 45 points, South Doyle 30. So when you look at that, you're thinking, okay, that's going to be a high-scoring game. Can South Doyle, though, eclipse their average? Now,
here's
their
they get
opportunity.
A little bit higher than their average coming from a team who scored 7 points in their last 2 games. But if you're just joining us, as we mentioned, I was told by Coach L.A. that their quarterback, Benson Brang, went out with an ACL tear earlier this season, and that's what they've been kind of adjusting to these last 2 weeks.
Well, they're going to go airborne. They're going to the far side, double coverage there, and the ball hits the ground, so it's incomplete. But you know, and that's great to point out the fact that they don't have their main guy in there.
And we talked about him a lot through that beginning part of the season, and that's exactly what Coach LA was saying, is that he's been the leader. He's kind of been the backbone of the offense. So yes, it makes sense of why they would struggle without him. And like we mentioned before, it's nothing that AC hasn't faced either, with JD out for 5 weeks with his collarbone injury, kept him limited until last week when he played his first full game of high school football as a freshman. So these two teams, while they're going at it on the field, can kind of relate to each other a little bit this year.
All right, so let's see what happens here on second down for South Doyle. Loveday in at quarterback, takes the snap and the handoff, and they try that same play we saw a little while ago. They get some room up the middle, and a nice pickup.
Gave him room, but taken down this time.
Right, so Crenshaw on the carry. But a nice pickup still as they're getting closer. If anything, they can, you know, a field goal gets them back on top in this game. As you can see the scoreboard there in the background, we're just under 5 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Third down and about 6.
I feel like South Doyle does a pretty good job at eating up the clock.
Yeah.
This year. And that's, you do want to limit that against Anderson County, a team who managed to get up 80-some points last week. They definitely can make things happen quickly, so why not keep them a little bit limited in the time that you're giving them to do it?
Loveday slings it out, but broken up.
Tipped.
Yep. Someone got a hand on it.
I believe that was number 8 from Anderson County who got his hand on it, Gabe St. John, senior.
And it's a good thing he did, because I think Jeremiah Smith was open.
Yeah,
I mean, if he had gotten through, if the ball was able to find a way through there.
Yeah, Jeremiah Smith, a wide receiver that South Doyle really relied on coming into this year. And now they've kind of built some other pieces offensively, but coming into this year, definitely we're relying on him for leadership and just in general with what he was able to do. And it looks like South Doyle is going to go for the field goal here, Bo.
Yeah, big kick coming up here.
So ball's on the 12.
This will put him on top.
Make it around.
No, it's blocked. Looks like it was tipped.
So that would have been a 29-yarder.
So it stays.
It's not going to now. He's going to hold on to the lead.
28-27. So the South Doyle cannot take advantage, capitalize on the great field position they had on the punt return that took them down to about the 16-yard line.
Yeah, big missed opportunity there for them.
All right, so let's go back to William Blount and Central. We've kind of got the split screen for you right now. Heading back out there to Central High School. You see it on the right side of your screen. This is another barn burner, if you will. William Blount up by a field goal. Central, though, with the football right now, looking to retake the lead. And again, it has been a back-and-forth game. This one is really going to come down to whichever defense can figure something out.
Yeah, well, I wonder what I wish I could, be a fly on the wall during halftime on both of these locker rooms. What is the adjustment that you want to make defensively? And I wouldn't say that either of these two teams are defensive powerhouses this year. While they've scored a lot of points, they've also let up some. Like we said, Central's been in tight games the last 3 weeks. That doesn't happen if you aren't letting up points. So they've let some up, and now it's about figuring out who can't.
Good completion there. Caden Long finds his receiver, Torrin McAfee. So a big pickup for Central. That's the Cats moving the ball downfield. So here's where the Governors can make something happen. We've been talking about someone's got to come with a big defensive play. This is where William Blount's going to have to figure something out.
Central, one of those teams that has gotten themselves into the playoffs the last few years. They just kind of are always middle of the pack, I would say. They make it to the playoffs, but they don't really go far. Then we've seen it happen a few years after years, but this team feels a little bit different. It feels like they just have a little bit momentum coming up, and that one's not really going anywhere for the Bobcats, though.
But you're right, they have, and we saw that in McMinn County. I think it's where you really kind of got a sense of like, wait a minute, they made that long bus ride. Somehow you're thinking McMinn's got the momentum, and Central kept coming back in that game.
Just they kept biting, which is something that they lacked last year. They weren't able to pull off a lot of those games that they were winning at the half, but then in the second half they would lose it. That's something that has not been the case for them this year. In fact, it's what's won them their last 2 games, and something that they were fighting to do against Powell 3 weeks ago, and then kind of learned from their mistakes, regrouped, and now we're kind of finding ourselves in a similar situation tonight.
Long this time on the keeper, trying to get around that right end.
It's not going to work for him.
Picks up a few.
Something different about this team than those previous teams that we've talked about, kind of those middle of the pack teams that we've seen Central have over the last few years, is really just how committed this team is to each other. Coach joked that they tell each other they love each other all the time, and they mean it. So that's something that's really big about this team this year. You know, just that good old brotherly love that's bringing them together as a football team, Bo.
That can take you a long way. That is for sure. It can take you a long way.
Take you a long way with Long, right?
Yeah, exactly. I tell you, I like watching Caden Long. We've had Central on several times. I like watching Dabrowski too. Both
He's very in control as a quarterback.
He really is. And we have there. You know, I will say this about East Tennessee. One thing we have noticed by bouncing around all these games throughout the season, we have some really good quarterbacks in this area.
He didn't like that.
No, he didn't.
That call.
There was nowhere to go.
Wasn't anywhere to go, and nowhere to go for him.
Nice job by William Blount though on the pursuit there. That's a big play for the Governors. We've been talking about how somebody's going to have to step up defensively. Mason Johnson, though, the linebacker, with a big tackle there for the Governors.
Someone's got to step up defensively, and right now it's looking like William Blount is holding Central a little bit better than what we saw when we checked in during that first half. Obviously, we don't know the whole story, but there you see it, 29-26. William Blount still in control of this one. They went for the 2-point conversion on their last touchdown to be able to get that 3-point lead.
So just above 7 minutes to go in this quarter. Central trying to answer that lead that William Blount took right before the end of the first half. And here comes the press from William Blount and a big sack.
And that's the defense we were looking for all first half, Bo.
That's Jace Boyd, junior defensive lineman coming in with the big play there for William Blount. And yeah, that's exactly what both of these teams have been looking for, something defensive.
That entire drive there was facilitated and controlled by William Blount's defense. Yep. They were not letting Central get anything. I wonder what ignited them in the locker room to do so.
Tell you what.
But they are fighting on both ends of the ball now, Bo.
Yeah. Again, you want to be the fly on the wall, really, on both of those to see what the coaches were saying there at halftime. It's such a tight game to keep their teams motivated. But still a lot of time to go in this one, but William Blount with a big defensive play there. All right, we got some highlights from some other games we're watching for you right now around the area. So let's get you up to date. We're going to first of all take a look at what's been happening over Carter and Alcoa. This one pretty much has been all Alcoa in this game, playing at home. And but Carter, let's see here. Let's take a look. Yeah, this is Alcoa with the football again, punching it in. It was 28-0 at the break.
Yeah, Alcoa just running over everyone tonight is no difference, running their way into a 9-0 season so far. Couldn't quite make out who that was who ran that one in for Alcoa.
Yeah.
But yeah, 42-0 in the fourth. Same old. Alcoa shut out multiple teams this season. Looks like Carter could be one tonight. Now, Carter, though, you couldn't count them out coming into this one based on their record, and they've played good competition. They were 6-2. Even more important, 4-1 in region play. And now we're heading over to
Karns and West on this one. And West, we've been talking about them as well. Watch this, the run up the middle, just from a few yards out, but hey, they all count the same. Good touchdown run there for West. That's Messiah Wren on the touchdown. So West putting some more points on the board. They were leading this one 17-7 at the break. So they're continuing to add to their lead. And right now we are in the third quarter, up 31-7 West. And we can't talk enough about how the turnaround with West High School.
I mean, it is just remarkable what they've been able to put together. Messiah Wren has been the forefront of it. Coach expects big things out of him on both sides of the ball, and he is delivering.
All right, William Blount Central. And it looks like William Blount just scored. Or was it a 2-point conversion, I'm told? We'll get a confirmation here in a second. Yeah,
2-point conversion, touchdown.
No, it is a touchdown. Okay, thank you. Yeah, touchdown for William Blount. So there you go, 35-26.
Most we've seen someone pull away, but
yeah. But as we have seen, don't count Central out.
Don't count Central out. We've seen them come up late.
But take advantage when you get them, and that's what William Blount's doing right now. Try to get some points on the board. So they're going to try to make this a 10-point game, a 36-26 game. Kick is up. Looks good from where I'm standing.
Yeah, number 2, Aiden Tyler, junior kicker, going to knock that one back for the 10-point lead. Like we said, that's going to be the most that we've seen a team take control so far in this game. But
hey,
Central's got them right where they want them. If you're looking at the track record.
If you're a Central fan, but again, William Blount's got to be loving, especially after last weekend. All right, stay with us. We got more Friday Frenzy Live for you coming up. Welcome back, everyone. We know where you're watching us from. Bo Williams along with KCK. What do you think so far? I mean, we've got a handful of games that literally could come down to the wire. Usually we have like one.
Yeah, it might be the best slate that we've had of games coming down to the wire, but no surprise why a lot of these teams were 3-4, 4-5 in the region rankings, which top 4 advances to the playoffs. So a lot of these teams are really in the hunt. One for that playoff spot, and just a lot of evenly matched teams tonight inside the region that we're seeing. So kind of to be expected. Some of them are surprises. Some of them are a little bit more expected. Teams
playing against one another, and as Sam Granville pointed out a little while ago, maybe playing against the elements. It's pretty cold out there. One of the colder Friday nights
definitely
we've had.
by the coldest, that they've had.
All right, let's go back out to some of the action for you, get you up to date. William Blount taking on Central, and William Blount, the Governors, with a 10-point lead. So Central's got to get something going here. They're going to have to come back, but we've seen them do that. So you can't count them out. Even though you're up by 10, William Blount can't sit back and rest on their laurels here. But again, at the same time, Central, they got to stay focused, not get too rattled.
And the last time that we checked in, it was the defense doing everything from William Blount, which we didn't really get to see much highlights defensively from either of these teams. First half, kind of why we went into the break with a 29-26 William Blount lead. A lot of offense, not a lot of defense. We'll see if William Blount can follow this up on the next drive against Central to see if we can shut down the offense here.
So 2 names we call a lot when we talk Central football. You've got Caden Long and Jaden Harris. You know, over and over again.
The dynamic duo.
Yeah, the dynamic duo. So the quick pass out there for Central. So we'll see how they go. And that's the one thing, one of the big reasons why you can't count Central out. The same reason why you can never count out William Blount. And we can't say enough. They've got 2 very talented, experienced quarterbacks. And both are really coming into their own, it seems like, this year. We've been talking a whole lot about them and had really the pleasure of being able to bring them to you. So maybe you can't watch these teams play every week, but we've been able to look in on their games and get a better understanding. Oak Ridge has got another great quarterback.
But also, again, a guy who has been there for 4 years. He has started every single game that he has played in at Oak Ridge since he was a freshman.
Right.
So similar situation here. These are guys who are not in their first rodeo starting. Jackson Dabrowski in year 2. I believe Caden Long is in year 2 or 3 of starting over at Central. It's been a few years. It's certainly not his first year.
No, definitely not. 3:50 to go here in the third quarter. But, I mean, you look at it. I mean, Alcoa. Now, granted, he was a backup last year, but that kid
started every single game
doing
at
great
safety,
this year
so he
as
still
well.
had some experience.
So he's got that game experience. But another quarterback that we've seen, Carter, another great quarterback.
Yeah, a lot of experienced quarterbacks around the area.
It's been enjoyable what these kids are able to do.
Yeah, not necessarily experienced teams, so to speak, but experienced quarterbacks for sure in this area. Very prominent this year.
Split screen action for you right now, so we're keeping an eye on Central, but looks like Heritage may be getting ready to punch it in here against Gibbs, and they do. There you go. So touchdown for the Mountaineers, which is what's been a kind of a quiet game, and was 3-0 at the break. But you know, Joe Ussovet's crew, I mean, hanging in there on the road, and it's 10-6. So Gibbs was able to put a touchdown on the board, but now Heritage finally starting to come back. We told Sam Granville, hang on, the second half's going to be a barn burner, and it looks like that's what's going to happen. It looks like Central got into the end zone as well. So,
all the action coming at one time.
Yeah, and we're going to bring it to you. If we have to add another screen, we'll add another screen. But it looks like Central's getting ready. Well, first of all, Heritage, extra point, good.
10-7 over there.
Yes, 10 Central. Can they close the gap here as well? Let's see. Extra point up. Looks good. And there you go. All right, we've got a couple of tight ones for you right now. So this is good.
Love to see it. So that should make it 36-33 Central behind for that game. And like we said, 10-7. Gibbs is leading that one. We just saw Heritage score. So Gibbs had gone up 10-0. We saw the field goal in the first half, and then we're able to tack on a touchdown. And now we got ourselves some ball games.
I tell you what, we really do. Some tight ones, and we still got to keep it. Anderson County South Doyle, still another one we got to keep an eye on.
Yeah, last time we checked in on that,
28-27.
AC was leading that one. Hadn't fallen behind since they tied it up at 7-7. So AC was in control, but South Doyle always knocking on the door.
Yeah, so 3 games that they're a little close here as we get ready to head into the fourth quarter on some of these games. West kind of starting to pull away from Karns, as we showed you a little while ago.
We've seen from them the last 2 weeks. They're doing it for a 3rd week in a row, so they're fighting for their playoff spot right now. 3-4 tonight would put them at 4-4. They lost their first 4 of their first 5, or lost 4 within their first 5 rather. And they've won their last 2, and they're not looking back today either.
All right, so here we go. Heritage scores. Down 10-7 to Gibbs on the road, getting ready to kick this one away. And this is one of the 3 games that is going to be interesting to see how this one plays out. Got the long sleeves on because it is cold.
Added that at halftime.
Yeah, right, exactly. Someone's like,
dig down to the bag, see what the family packed for.
Yeah, right. I say equipment manager, but yeah, you had to pack yourself pretty much in the high school. Good coverage, by the way, on the kickoff there for Heritage. But Gibbs is going to have some decent field position here.
Yeah, these coaches got the got the sweatshirts on, so they got the memo. Just these players, they'll be out here in 20 degrees with nothing on.
Especially the linemen.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll be out there, you know. I don't know how they do it.
Funny you mention that because I just saw the video of the Tennessee linemen running out without their shirts on in that Ohio State playoff game last year, trying to make a statement in the coldest game I have ever attended in my life. Didn't need to go back up north.
Right.
Only gets colder, especially in late December.
All right, Gibbs with the football. Keith Jones Jr. on the handoff. Juwan Harris, nice move.
Still not too many yards, but he's going to pick up a few there.
So Harris on the carry for Gibbs. So Heritage, you know, kind of like some of the other games we've been watching here, like the William Blount game, which defense is going to step up? The defense has been doing it in this game. Here's going to be whose offense can just take over.
Yeah, we saw a lot of defense in the first half. Second half seems to be giving us a little bit more offense.
Yeah, Tucker Ownby there with the pickup.
Gibbs defense is something that they've really noted the last few weeks, that has been playing hard, playing as a unit. Last week was a big night for their tonight was going to have to be a big night for their defense to win the game, is something that Brad Turner had told me was going to be kind of a shift if they could win, if they couldn't, and it could win them the game tonight, is what we're seeing play out here.
Again, this is going to be Harris on the carry, flag down, and a host of Mountaineers waiting for him there. So let's see what the call is. We have a hold. I think it is going to go against Gibbs, it looks like here.
As we mentioned, Gibbs is on a 3-game win streak. Mountaineers, Heritage, a little bit on a different journey the last few weeks. They're on a 3-game losing streak. Gibbs has had losses to Alcoa and South Doyle this year.
Which is nothing to frown about. I mean, both those teams, good teams. We've been watching a little bit of South Doyle here in tonight's coverage for you.
Heritage, if they win tonight, still in the playoff picture. If they lose, they would be out of it. Gibbs has a little bit more flexibility, but certainly a win tonight would kind of solidify things for them. If they lose tonight, it could be okay, but they gotta make sure that the other people in the conference, in the region, don't mess things up for them.
So Ownby with another big pickup here for Gibbs as they now cross midfield. I want to go back to our crew in the booth. Anderson County just scored, is what I'm told, and they're starting to pull away. Am I hearing that correctly in that game? All right, 42-27.
All right, a few more points over there than last time that we were there.
It was a one-point game at one point there in the third, but it looks like Anderson County starting to pull away on the road at South Doyle. If they can hang on, they'll go to 6-2. South Doyle will drop to 4-5. So end of the quarter, is that where we are here? Yeah, end of the third. So 10-7. A little more excitement than what we saw in the first half between these two. Both teams with a touchdown.
Defense, but at least a little bit of excitement working.
All right, we're going to take a quick break here. We'll come back. We're going to keep an eye on all the action for you, keep you up to date with all the scores. You're watching Friday Frenzy Live. Welcome back to Friday Frenzy Live. Anderson County taking on South Doyle.
Wow.
That is how you run up the middle. What a great run by Jason Thompson. He's been one of the several weapons that Anderson County has had offensively this year, and I tell you what, Anderson County running it up now. It's been a tight game. South Doyle's been hanging in there, but I think AC's starting to pull this one away.
Yeah, that one would have made the score 35-27, and then they did score again, so that's going to bring this one to 42-27. We're getting deep into the second half, as you can see up there. Fourth quarter, again, Anderson County up 42-27, so up 2 scores. Can't count South Doyle out yet. However, it is solidifying itself in Anderson County's favor. Like we had mentioned before, they kind of, even though it stayed close, they've been in control. They have not fallen behind since this one was tied up at 7-7.
Anderson County's got Alcoa next week to wrap up the regular season. South
What a way
Doyle
to
gets
wrap it up.
Fulton.
They get the privilege of that.
Yeah. South Doyle, though, is going to go to Fulton. Fulton, by the way, tonight at the half was beating Union County 53-6.
Struggle of a season for the Falcons this year,
has
so
been,
they're
but
fighting to
a good
get
exclamation point for them right there.
to get some wins on the board before this regular season wraps on up.
All right, this was still tight. They had a 10-point lead. It's back down to 3. William Blount with the football, taking on Central on the road. William Blount looking to keep their postseason hopes alive. Completion.
Gets the catch, but doesn't get much after.
But hey, they'll take the yardage. It looks like a first down for William Blount. So the Governors, they will move the chains as they continue to knock on the door here and keep Central honest defensively, that's for sure.
I'm going to give Sam the shout out. She usually chooses our game of the week, and this is
a good one.
A good one for her. Yes, a good one that we chose.
And I think this Heritage Gibbs game, this low scoring, will be interesting to watch here with Sam Granville out there.
Yeah,
so
as
Sam
it comes down
Rothman
the
with this
stretch.
one, Sam Granville with the other, right?
Yes.
Oh, high snap. Good job
All
by
right,
Dabrowski
just
to bring it back
loose.
down.
Oh,
Then
but
he
he's
gets
gonna go for the
rid
end.
of it. Oh, I was going to say, if he threw a completion, I'll be like, that could be the play of the night.
That would have been the play of the night. So, I mean, I guess the best situation there, doesn't go over his head. He does, get hands on it, so it doesn't become a fumble or a turnover. However, you're not getting anything from it.
Oh, we're hearing Gibbs just scored, so there you go. We're pulling it up for you. Yeah, 16-7. They'll try to take a 10-point lead, so a huge score there for Gibbs. They're going to, as they're trying to pull away. It was all defense in the first half. The question was whose offense would start to find their groove in the second half. We'll continue to watch here, or Gibbs will try to go for the extra point here in a moment, try to make it a 17-7 game. But William Blount right now looking to, again, another high snap. Nice job by Dabrowski to haul it in. Breaks one tackle. Yeah, spin move there, but picks up maybe a few yards. That could have been a whole lot worse. Last couple of snaps, though, been a little, he's had to take some evasive action there to pull it in.
Yeah, that one he was able to make something on, but as we saw before, just thrown out of bounds because the best he could do with the cards he was kind of dealt there.
9:48 to go, fourth quarter, 36-33. Thank you, Sam.
There have been few teams who have slowed Central down this year. The key that head coach Robert Reeves from William Blount thought was to slowing them down was to be able to tackle well and pursue the football. That's exactly what they've been able to do tonight, especially that tackle well in the second half for William Blount.
Dabrowski going to hang on to it, run out of bounds on the far side. I tell you, Central's doing a great job coverage-wise, or William Blount's just got, hey, go back, set, and then take off.
Yeah.
So, because sometimes he looks deep like that one. A straight drop back, look deep, and there was nowhere to go.
Ball in the 22.
I think the way you're moving the football, you go for it. Right?
Oh, you absolutely go for it, yeah. Especially the way that Central has been pursuing. Sam mentioned at halftime that every time Central has done something, William Blount has been able to answer. So, I mean, that's what you're looking for right now. Central just came down and scored, so William Blount on the response here. Looks like Dabrowski's going to try to punch through.
I think he got it.
Didn't look promising at first. Central saying no.
I don't know. I'm thinking he. Well, let's see. I'm thinking he got it. Yeah, there it is. First down. I don't think a big shock, especially when you saw Dabrowski line up underneath the center too. He's like, okay, this is going to be a keeper.
Yeah.
And
looked like he was getting pushed back at first, but then kind of made his way through there. So didn't make it easy on him, but he was able to manage his way through. And William Blount's pursuits of coming back on the response continue here.
So we got a stoppage in play right now as William Blount is threatening. So we got a Central player down. They're checking on him right now. So hopefully he'll be okay. We're going to use this opportunity, though, to take a break. We'll be right back, keeping a close watch on a handful of games for you around the area. You're watching Friday Frenzy Live. Welcome back to Friday Frenzy Live, a game that has wrapped up. Karns at West. It was close for a while, then West just took over, and another touchdown there. And I tell you, West,
Yeah.
1 more game to go in the regular season, sitting pretty good as we look ahead to the postseason here.
Yeah, I mean, if the postseason started today, they actually would be in, and then winning tonight and getting another win on the board, kind of putting them in a better position because they do have to face POW in that final week.
Right.
So getting a win tonight was crucial to kind of cement themselves, and now you hope that nothing crazy happens in that bottom of Region 2 in 5A, and they should be good for the playoffs. I would say more likely than not, we're going to see West in the playoffs. Something would really have to be shaken up for them to not at this point with the win tonight.
And that's a team that started 0-3, and then after that, just kind of it was like a whole another year, a whole other season. Went 3-1 since that point. So
yeah, lost 4 of their first 5. They've won their last 2, and 56 points 2 weeks ago, 59 points last week against William Blount, who we've been seeing a lot of tonight, and then 47 points tonight. I mean, you're averaging over 53 a game, if my math's right there, in the last 3 games. Crazy.
McNeil with the completion. We've been talking about quarterbacks. We haven't talked a lot about Mad McNeil, but we've watched enough of these Heritage games. He's another strong quarterback. He's a senior. Has had some good play. A big kid too. I mean, and he can run. He can throw. Just another one of these quarterbacks. Gibbs, we've seen their quarterback as well. Against some talented kids out there. Kind
of similar to the build of Deuce Rogers over at PAL, just a bigger quarterback. Another seasoned quarterback.
Yeah, another one we haven't mentioned, right?
As we've mentioned, I think, I don't even know if we have an inexperienced quarterback on the screen tonight.
Well,
Gibbs is a little bit, Keith Jones is.
Almost intercepted there.
Double
flag.
A lot of flags.
Yeah, a lot of flags.
It looks like maybe an injured Gibbs player.
Either that or I think he's
or
just upset.
slow to get up.
Yeah, I think he's just,
one of the two.
We'll
a little
see.
slow to get up, but he's going to be okay.
Is that Wyatt Shropshire, I think, number 3?
Number 3,
Wyatt Shropshire.
It does look like he's walking off something, so probably a little bit of frustration, a little bit of sadness.
Dylan Burgess was the intended receiver there for Heritage. But you say inexperienced. Who were we talking about earlier?
Keith Jones is one. That's a sophomore Gibbs.
Right.
And the one from South Doyle who's been throwing.
South Doyle. He was a freshman quarterback. Freshman quarterback who really through
and hasn't even started
almost
the whole
3 quarters of play had a pretty good game tonight. So Love Day. That's who it is. So
yes,
a good game for him. All right, here we go. This is McNeil.
He's gonna pop it up. Oh, intercepted. And that time it does come down with the Eagles. Different guy though, number 6.
Number 6, yeah. So it comes down. That is Memphis Wilson. Sophomore linebacker. Was there a penalty on the play? Did Heritage get a break? As I turn back and look at the monitor here. Yeah, they still got the ball. 17-7. 8:11 to go in the fourth quarter.
We got time in this one.
Yeah.
Third quarter, 8:11. So we got all the time in the world.
So a huge break for Heritage. So they keep the football after it looked like we had an interception and a turnover.
Down. Now that I'm replaying it in my head, maybe he was down when he caught it.
Well, McNeil,
it was kind of a sliding, and I mean, this defense is all over the Mountaineers. If it wasn't the interception there, I feel one coming from this defense.
You're starting to feel Gibbs is kind of getting some momentum here.
Yeah,
and
they're getting a little bit of
a win.
A win that would make it 4 straight for them. For Gibbs, that is. Right now, they're sitting at 6-2 on the season. Win tonight would bring them to 7-2. It would completely solidify themselves for the playoffs. They would be set.
Here's McNeil again out of the shotgun. 3rd down. They got to keep this drive alive. I know there's still 8 minutes to go, but you got to get something moving here for Heritage. Good completion. And let's see what he can do. That's Tegan Ruling, still looking for some help. Running from sideline to sideline after the catch, finally knocked out of bounds. Was it enough for the first down? He was pretty close when he made the grab.
And then he kind of went sideways when he's making the grab, kind of thought about going the other direction.
Looks like they're moving the chain. So there you go. They'll switch that over to 1st down.
Yep, there we go.
So a big play on 3rd down for Heritage.
Yeah, big play, and they need something now. They're down 10 points. While we did say they have time to play, what you don't want to do is give Gibbs any more momentum, especially because they're playing in Coreyton, they're playing in Eagles territory. You don't want to give them any more ammunition to get anything on because Gibbs will take advantage of it.
Let's see what they dial up here. McNeil, again, going to throw.
I don't think that was complete.
Yeah,
no,
incomplete.
he's going to call that incomplete.
So going for the short passes to kind of work their way downfield. If they're going to give you a few yards, the mindset there is they're just going to take advantage of it and say, okay, we'll take the 2 or 3 yards. But you've got to complete the pass.
I think you've also seen the coverage just be all over the Mountaineers. They don't want to risk it going big, too. You don't want to risk it and then get it in Gibbs' favor here.
Got the Gibbs band behind us right there.
They're kind of rocking and rolling. Kind of moving
Trying to fire up that defense. All right, on second down, McNeil, again, a bullet and a completion once again to Ruling. Almost dropped it.
They almost dropped it, but I don't think there was any question on that. He still had control of it, but nothing the Gibbs defense was going to let fly easy. They were all over that.
So let's see. Inside the, let's see, where are we here? Caught up listening to the band. First down, though, for Heritage, regardless.
I'd say we're not far, but we're not close.
Low snap from McNeil. Gets rid of it. Oh, and a catch.
Oh.
Hauls it in, almost picked off, and a touchdown for Heritage in 3 straight plays to Ruling. He looks exhausted after that. And that's probably why he put his head down. He was like, you gotta be
it
kidding
looks
me.
like, number 2 there throwing his head back.
And that, what a huge score that would have been. Could pull Heritage to within 3. But block in the back against Heritage. Right now, if you're the coach, you're going, what's the number? So they'll back it up. Heritage still has the football, but boy, it takes 6 points off the board.
And a few yards off the board.
A few yards, yeah, exactly.
They moved themselves back there a little bit.
But what a great catch. I thought for a moment that was picked.
Yeah, he was right there. They were trying to eliminate penalties tonight. I mean, who isn't, though? Obviously, never want them to inhibit you like we just saw there. It only slows things down momentum-wise, and you don't get the points on the board. So
you can hear the crowd trying to be as loud as they can. Heritage still with the football.
I'm kind of bobbled on the snap there, and then
there,
you hear the whistles.
Let's bring you some highlights as we've been keeping a close watch on this game. Looks like we had a timeout that was called. That's why you heard the whistles there. Gibbs calling the timeout. This was earlier. This was a great pickup off the pitch there, and a nice cut move and touchdown from Gibbs. Oh, nice little, look at this. A little do-si-do right there before they got into the end zone, but a touchdown by Harris, DeJuan Harris. Great run.
Great run and great blocking behind him, too, to make it happen there. You saw some of the
That made it 17-7.
Some of the offense kind of pushing the defense off.
Head back out to William Blount. This is a William Blount highlight taking on Central. And there's the field goal.
Splits the uprights.
All right, so we're thinking Central. We're hearing now Central may have just punched in. Let's get you live here back out to this game. We'll try to get a score update for you here in just a second.
On the play.
Looks like we had a flag on the play, but are we still sitting 36-33 at this one? 39-33. Okay, so there we saw the, so the field goal added the 3. Okay.
So, and that is in William Blount's favor.
Yeah,
William Blount has control of this one right now. And then it's Central who right now is driving, so they're trying to, at minimum, get 3. You could also tie it.
Or take the lead
or
with
you
the
could
extra
take
point.
the lead.
So many options on the table.
So
many possibilities.
Options.
All right, so 39-33, William Blount with the score here. So here we go. Long's going to have to hang on to it.
There's that defense that we've seen from William Blount in the second half coming into play. Caden Long on the loose, but William Blount not letting him get as much as he got in that first half at all. They've got Long on lockdown a little bit.
So with around 5, just under 5 to go here in this game, Central needs 6 points, if anything, to tie this thing up. field goal will cut the lead in half, but you know they would love to nothing better than to pop it in here, get the 6, then add the extra point, put the pressure back on William Blount. A little razzle-dazzle here for Central. Go back around the far end, around the left side, but William Blount hanging tight.
A lot of running, not quite sure if it really picked up.
Yeah, not sure how many yards he picked up on the play there, but Central kind of reaching into their bag of plays. McAfee on the carry. 4:12 is where the clock is right now. So that's how it is. Ball on the 16, 3rd down in the 4th.
What's special about this Central team is they allow the coaching staff to coach them. Sounds simple, but it's really allowed for them to have some success this year. They also want to win a state championship, as does everyone. But when you hear that from a coach talking about his players, and it's been a coach who has seen teams come through, it's a little bit different.
Long looking for somebody. Nice coverage by William Blount. Finally releases the ball.
And we got some pointing. I think William Blount may have intercepted it.
Yep, I think we got a Governor interception. Huge defensive play. With a 6-point lead and around 4 minutes to go.
I think the guy who intercepted it has his helmet off back there. They're giving him a lot of love.
They are.
We'll see if we can get that number for you. But if not, you see him running on the
there
sideline.
I think he kept going to the left there.
He was too excited, had to run it off.
He is. All right, so good stuff there for William Blount, for Governor fans. The big pick there and to stop the Central drive.
Big.
Yeah, so they're going to preserve their 6-point lead right now late in the 4th quarter.
So if we were going to decide who had the better halftime speech about defense, right now I'm giving it to William Blount.
To William Blount. All right, take a look here. We got the split screen for you right now. You can see William Blount on the left with the football on their 2-yard line, as they're going to try to get some breathing room here. Off the keeper, Dabrowski punches up the middle, maybe picks up a couple, just trying to get out of his end zone here.
You don't want to mess up here because you fumble, interception, it's only a couple of yards for Central to do something, and then now you're back trailing.
All right, let's go back over to Heritage and Gibbs. Another tight ball game for you right now, 17-7. Heritage still knocking on the door, still with the football. Looked like a direct snap that time to, let's see, number 20. That's Thomas Bowers. Now make it 2nd down.
Thomas Bowers, the guy that Heritage has really been relying to on and off the field and on both sides of the ball this season. Joe Ossovet telling me earlier this week that it's his leadership skills and how he runs the game that has really been contagious for this entire offense and when he's on defense as well.
So Bowers still back there. They'll snap it to him again. This time he'll run left.
He's going to keep going.
Yeah, he's got some, almost.
Flip,
Well, he took a shot to the back.
That was a tough hit.
He took a shot just
and he is down.
He's down about the 1 or 2 yard line.
It looks like he's grabbing his knee.
Yeah.
He did get hit by about 3 of them, all in different directions. They're just shy of the end zone. You also see Central coming in on the corner of the screen there. Once again, William Blount leading them.
All right, we'll check back in. Yeah, we'll check back in on the Gibbs Heritage game. Let's head over back to William Blount. They still have the football deep in their own territory, leading by 6. Dombrowski rolling right, looking, throwing. And I believe it's incomplete. Looks like we may have had a player with a cramp there for William Blount.
Good.
Yeah, like a Central player helping him out, right?
Yeah, Central player helping him out there.
Jaden DeHart. So 2:29 to go, 39-33.
Sportsmanship. That's the word I was looking for. Good sportsmanship.
So we get a stoppage in play over here at Gibbs and Heritage. So we're going to keep this split screen, kind of keep an eye on both these games because both these are coming down to the wire. They can really still go either way. Heritage looking to pull or continue to reel Gibbs in.
We did have that tight Anderson County game. However, the last time we checked in there, that one was pulling away in Anderson County's favor. In case you were tuning in for that one, last time we checked in, 42-27 AC. To our knowledge, that holds right now. And over here with Gibbs. We've got the Eagles leading 17-7. And again, that score rate now at Central, 39-33, William Blount. William Blount got an interception while Central was pretty close to the end zone. So now things back in their favor, maybe looking to extend that lead late in that one. We're winding down in the last few minutes over at Central High School for that one.
Yeah, I said both these games getting close to the end here. So Heritage lining up. Looks like everybody's okay. They got the ball at the 1, first down for Heritage. This is a huge couple of plays coming up here for the Mountaineers as they're looking to close this, make this a 2 or 3 point game, and there's the touchdown for you. So
Beautiful.
McNeil on the keeper, touchdown Heritage. This time it does count. They had one earlier, was called back, but this one does count, and so they'll go for the extra point and try to make it a 17-14 game. I'm assuming they're going to try to kick it. So there it is as it stands right now with 4:22 to go in the game.
So both these games kind of around the same amount of time left. Last time we checked in on William Blount Central had about 4 left, and now 4 in this one as well.
All right, so this is the pull. Heritage to within 3. Gavin Hyatt, the kick.
Is good.
There you go. We got a 17-14 game.
Like we mentioned, 4:22 left, so if I was Gibbs, probably going to try to use as much time on the clock as they can, and Heritage is going to get everything they can to fight, or do everything they can to fight and get that ball back. Or maybe we even see an onside kick here. I know Gibbs loves to take an onside kick, but now obviously they're not the ones kicking. It's going to be Heritage, so we'll see if Heritage does go for that onside kick, how well Gibbs can field it, since they are used to practicing that in practice because they do it themselves.
Final, by the way, Anderson County tonight over South Doyle, 49-27 is the final there. So Anderson County picking up a big win, getting ready for a big game next week as they'll wrap up the regular season when they take on Alcoa. Let's go back to Central and William Blount. William Blount punted away, and Central with the football down by 6. Less than 4 minutes to go in this game, and they're going deep. As we pick it up for you live.
Oh, incomplete.
So good defense that time by William Blount. Back there, you see number 5.
So not happy about it,
no,
but
Tay
hyped up for
Williams.
another chance.
Yeah, Tay Williams like, man, maybe I could have picked that one off. But Caden Long going along on that one. 2:10, yeah. So there's the score, 39.
Another one down to the wire for Central. 4 weeks in a row that it has been a one-score game at this point in time.
And so when you think about that, you think, okay, well, you know, even though they're down by 6, do they have the edge here because they've been here so many times?
They've been in the situation. I think that's huge.
Yeah. No need to panic. But for William Blount, what a huge win this will be for them to kind of, obviously, as they're still looking to solidify a spot in the postseason. Pass complete. Big move here. It's going to be a pretty good pickup down to about the 20-yard line for Central.
I thought someone called a timeout, but I could have been mistaken there.
I think they were just blowing it down there. Was that McAfee, I think, on the catch and the run?
Yes. It looks like Sam's getting in position in the end zone. Y'all know what that means.
Red zone time.
Close. Red zone time. Ready for the red zone. As a reminder, the playoff implications a lot more for William Blount on this one rather than Central. Central's already secured their spot. They're 5-0 in region play.
Hand off up the middle. This time they'll keep it on the ground.
Keeps
Breaks
going.
one tackle. Is this going to be a touchdown for Central?
And
it
it's gonna be a
is.
touchdown.
Wow. Jaden Harris.
And that is a team who has been in this position
Yep.
the last 3 weeks. That is what you see in the last 2 minutes from a team who has been in this position before. They lost the first time that they were, and then the last 2 weeks have pulled off the win. Now there is still time on the clock. William Blount could come back, but they did everything they needed to do to put themselves in a good position there.
Huge kick coming up here.
So that's going to make it a tie game. 39 all around. There it is, 1:29 left. Even less time than I kind of thought. I thought we may be still hovering around the 2-minute mark.
Central can take the lead here with the extra point. Go up 40-39. Ball's down, kick is up. And we got a 40-39 game. All right. So with about a minute and a half to go, William Blount, if anything, they got to get in field goal position. But you got the quarterback to do it. They've moved the ball all night long. Both offenses have been very successful tonight. Can Central's defense now rise to the occasion? That's where this is going to come down to tonight.
which I wouldn't say that we've seen too much.
Oh, I mean, they've
in
given up
this
39.
one. Yeah, they've let up 39 points. And yeah, you're looking here saying, well, William Blount's let up 40. However, we have seen flashes of really strong defense from William Blount in the second half. In what we've seen in front of us, now Sam could have a different opinion seeing the entire game. We haven't seen that defense be as strong on the Central side.
All right, we're going to go quick break. We got 2 games we're keeping an eye on. Don't go anywhere. More Friday Frenzy Live in just a moment. Welcome back to Friday Frenzy Live. William Blount was driving, and, well, Casey, Central comes up big defensively.
Yeah, big defensively, got the interception, ran it back a little bit. But, I mean, last time we checked in with this one, it had 1:29 on the clock, so we obviously have less than that. We're probably hovering right around a minute left, and Central's got the ball.
Boy,
maybe with the opportunity to just take a knee and wrap this one up. Yeah, 47 seconds. They're going to have 4 downs. I would say that this one is ball game, and this would be the 3rd one in Central's favor straight that has come down to 3 or less points. This one right now just separated by a point.
There's the down, yeah. Came long, takes a knee. And for William Blount, you got to go so close. And this game was so huge for their postseason possibilities.
Yeah, they're not completely out of it. However, losing tonight makes it a lot more difficult because it puts them, Halls, and West all with 3 wins. West, though, they got their 4th tonight, so, you know.
Right, but they do get Campbell County next week, which is a winnable game for William Blount.
But they would still need one of either West or Halls to lose next week. It just becomes a lot more difficult for them. Tonight would have solidified something, and now, especially with West winning tonight, we're not quite sure about Halls. We don't have that one written down, but it does make it more difficult for them, Central. good to go.
Yeah. So barring some type of fluke bad play, Central should hang on to win this one. Now, Gibbs taking on Heritage tonight. Heritage closed this one to a 3-point game, 17-14. They trail on the road at Gibbs, but Gibbs has got the football right now. Clock's still running, and that's what they want to do, is just try to hang on to this. They're slowly moving the ball downfield, and Heritage right now in this timeout, boy, they just look flat right there.
Yeah, they're looking a little.
Trying to figure something out.
Yeah, they're looking a little. I don't want to say defeated, but
no, not yet, because they're still in the game.
Not yet. They're still in the game, but they are definitely. The momentum is not with them.
2:26, so still plenty of time to go in this one.
Yes.
But they don't want to give up any more points right now. You're on the road. They got to try to figure out a way to hang on. Ball on the 21. If anything, Gibbs can kick a field goal and make it a 20-14 game, but it's still just a one-score game at that point.
Yeah, I guess the best case scenario right now.
Unless
a turnover would be best case scenario. Then you look at number 2. Best case scenario, number 2 would be just a field goal. Then you can go down and try to match it at least. It looks like there may be a Heritage player down
off
behind
to the right there. It looks like someone was stretching something. Yeah. All right, so Central on the right, they are just moments away from picking up a very hard-fought win, yet another, as we were saying earlier. This team, they've got a 2-game winning streak. Both those games are won by 3 points. And this would be another one by 1. So, boy, they are used to these tight games. And Casey, I think you pointed it out that, that's probably what would play to their advantage if it stayed tight, right? And it definitely has.
Yeah, I think that Central is absolutely in the better position there to win a tight game. And now we're back live. Heritage versus Gibbs, and Heritage defense makes the stop, but looks like there's a little frustration about it because we got a flag.
So let's see, the ref's going to talk this one over.
I believe it was number 14 with the stop there for Heritage, and he was not happy. Dylan Burgess, wide receiver and defensive back.
Yeah, personal foul against Heritage. So you got to think if they had a stop there, someone just let it get to him. But there's still a little over 2 minutes to go in this game, so there's no reason to get too frustrated at this point, right? Heritage still in this one, 3-point game, but they need to hold Gibbs to a field goal here.
And Gibbs is only getting closer, so.
Right, so first down.
They're kind of fighting with their backs against the wall right now, backs against the end zone.
Yeah, first and goal, let's have the ball about the 9-yard line.
There's Kevin Jones, you see quarterback. Sophomore in his first year under center.
So my guess is they're just going to try to keep this one I would think, on the ground. Try to burn some more of that clock. You got a first down here.
Yeah, they're burning the clock right now.
148, 147. They got to run some time off here before they can get up underneath there and take the snap.
9 yards to go.
And they're going to take a knee.
Wow, okay.
So I'm guessing Heritage is out of timeouts. Well, yeah, clock's still running.
Clock's still running.
126.
They're 2nd and 10. They're on 10 with the kneel. This one in the first half, Bo, as we talked about, not much going on. It was 3-0. Just a field goal from Gibbs was the only thing on the board. They come out, these teams get a little bit more going in the second half, but definitely defense was what won the game tonight, and that's exactly what Brad Turner for Gibbs needed his team to do. I talked to him earlier this week, said he needed the defense to come up big to get this one over Heritage.
Heritage doing everything they can to try to disrupt that
over
snap,
the middle, over
right?
the top.
Trying to
hey,
do
why
anything.
not? If that's going to be the only shot that they're going to give you, we're down to less than a minute right now, 45 seconds and dwindling.
There we go. Clock continues to run. So, boy, a tight game, a much more, as Casey, you just mentioned, a much more exciting second half in this one. Hats off to Heritage on the road fighting in this one, but Gibbs also hats off to them for somehow hanging on and
only a 3-0 lead. Game.
Yeah, because I think Gibbs had to be pretty frustrated going into the locker room, only up 3-0 in this one. So
yeah.
Good win for them. A tough loss for Heritage. Heritage falls to 3-5. Gibbs now improves to 7-2 on the campaign.
Kind of a sneaky 7-2. It doesn't really seem like they're 7-2, but they are.
Yeah, you
4
are
wins
kind of
now,
flying
last
under the
4
radar
weeks.
a little bit.
I think it was the start, right? Because you get 4 wins in the last 4 weeks. That means that they started out a little bit less. So maybe just that beginning start, but they've really come into their own in the last few weeks.
So a stark difference from last week when Gibbs beat full 51-7.
Yeah.
This is a much tighter game, 17-14. They're going to wrap up with Carter. Carter took one on the chin tonight against Alcoa, but who hasn't? So, you know, Carter will be looking to bounce back in that one, but that'll be an interesting game to watch. Gibbs and Carter, and I want to say it's at Gibbs next week, so that'll be a good one to watch.
Yeah, tonight Gibbs, playoff pitcher-wise, they came in sitting 4th in 4A Region 2 of the season. Were to end today, they would have been in it. If they want to control their own destiny, winning tonight was fantastic. So they should be in. If they were to lose tonight and next week, they would have been out, but now they should be in good shape. Heritage, though, not as much. They were sitting 5th, right behind Gibbs in 4A Region 2. If they were to win out, which means winning tonight and next week, they would have been in the playoffs. However, losing tonight takes them out of it. So next week is going to be the end of the road for Heritage.
Yeah, and Heritage will be at Union County to wrap up the season.
Should fare okay in that one, but it's not going to make a difference for them. Okay,
but for the Heritage team too, though, a good season for them, coming off a tough year last year. So trying to get something going down there in Blount County. All right, William Blount Central. Want to show you the big defensive play that kind of sealed this one for the Cats. Dabrowski was back to pass, and there's the interception for you again. A big pick here for Central, and he does. He's off and running. Kalen Chesney, the senior, huge interception for Central, sealing that win.
And you can hear it.
Oh,
they knew it.
Big play.
Big play.
Because William Blount took over with about a minute and a half to go. Took over the possession of the football. Had the chance. They were down by, what was it, down by 3, I think it was? Or no, down by 1.
Down by 1, yeah.
So all they needed was a field goal, just trying to get in field goal position. But with the clock ticking down, that was pretty much it. Then Caden Long comes in, takes a couple knees, and that's ball game.
And that's going to be ball game. And that's how we saw that Gibbs game end, too. Just kneeling it out. Exciting plays right up to the final minute, and then they were kind of able to ease into the finale on both of those tight games today.
All right, we're going to listen to Brad Turner here for a little bit, talking to his team.
All right, we got to do our thing real quick. The band's playing all that stuff. But hey, let's pray, and then we'll get out of here. God, we thank you for today. We thank you for these young men. We thank you for their commitment. We thank you for everything they put into this sport. We ask you to be with them as they go away from here. We ask you to be with them to be great examples of you. And all your name we pray. Amen. Good job, guys.
Tonight, Brad Turner, we had a shot of him right there as they were going to the locker room at halftime, just kind of shaking his head. I think he was trying to figure out what in the world, you know. I don't think he wasn't happy with the way his team was performing. But they pick it up here in the second half and pull out a hard-fought win against a pretty good Heritage team under Joe Osovich. So.
Yeah, Heritage team that started off really strong, and then just as the season has unfolded, things just haven't gone in their way.
All right, we are watching other scores for you from around the area. We do want to get you up to date on how things are shaping up for you. So take a look. Here you go. 42-0 Alcoa. Not a big surprise there. Dobbins-Bennett, though, Hans Bearden, their 8th loss. The Bulldogs dropped to 0-8 now on the year.
I wouldn't say that was a surprise, but we did see at one point Bearden and Dobbins-Bennett
were
kind of close.
At halftime.
They were tied up at half, so we thought maybe Bearden could pull off their first win, but they're going to have to wait on that, Bo.
All right, other scores for you right now from around the area. CAK losing to Boyd Buchanan 32-0. Hall 66-13 over Campbell County.
Yeah, Campbell County just can't get anything rolling this year, still winless on the year. And then Powell going over Clinton 45-21. Coalfield coming out with the shutout over Greenback 35-0.
Yeah, I tell you what, Powell, what a season they've had, though. The Panthers, again, 45-21, as you see over Clinton. So a good win for them. Other games for you tonight, take a look at it. Mo West wins by 14 over Cock County, 44-30. Concord Christian losing by 10 to Providence, 38-28. Actually, that game's the fourth, the last that we had there. So
you were already trying to call it. That's okay.
I know, it may not be over.
That's okay.
Please don't call me. Also, Cosby losing to Hampton tonight. That is a final. 30-12 is the score there. Here's some other finals.
Yeah, Claiborne County coming up over top of Cumberland Gap, 34-0. That is the final for that one. They're not in the fourth. That is the final. And then David Crockett on top of Daniel Boone, 24-7.
I always wonder if David Crockett and Daniel Boone went head-to-head, who would win in a fight. Well, now I know.
Now you know. Now you know. Seymour falling to Elizabethan 28-14. That one should take them out of the playoffs. They really needed to win out and have some things go in their favor. So Seymour kind of out of the question now. And Oak Ridge, this game was yesterday actually against Farragut, 45-21. You want to talk about a team having a great season?
Yeah,
Got to look at Oak Ridge.
Yeah, and what was it? Was it Bradley Central where they really had their backs against the wall to pull like a 10-7 win or something like that?
It was a 3-point win. I do believe it was 10-7. Yeah, but they are undefeated on this season. So, and they just keep on rolling.
All right, there you go. We showed you the Gibbs game. They win at 17-14. It was a 3-0 lead for Gibbs at the break, but they go on to win 17-14 tonight over Heritage. Grace Christian, the game's still underway, taking on Lakeway Christian 15-0. So Grace continues to put points on the board and figure out a way to win some games, and they're still rolling after that big win over
big
Sevier
confidence
County.
booster is what Justin Price was telling me that Sevier County win did for that team. Then we got Greenville coming out big, 70-13 against Granger. Jellicoe pulling off the win against Hancock. 38-14, Bo.
Yeah, boy, 70 points by Greenville. You know, that's another team sometimes that we don't talk enough about, but the Green Devils, year in and year out, just a great program.
One of the teams that gives Alcoa a run for their money.
Yeah,
here
definitely,
and there.
definitely. Hardin Valley, how about this? Good win against Cleveland tonight, 42-27 for the Hawks. Boy, they've had a good
turnaround season for them.
Yeah, really have compared to last year. Oliver Springs, good win for the Cats tonight, 35-6 over Harriman. So a couple
Springs
of rivals
always
there.
sneaky with the wins too.
They do.
Yeah, they're going to be, I believe, one of our feature games next week against Coalfield. That's always a great game to wrap up the season.
That is a good rivalry game for you. Gatlinburg-Pittman, GP 41-0 over Johnson County, over the Longhorns. William Blount, we showed you that one. Boy, what a great game this one was. Offensively, you can ask for anything better. 40-39.
Yeah, that was as tight as they come, and Central just can't get away from those tight ones. Tonight was no different. And then,
how about this?
Tight one.
They were trailing.
Yeah, Knox Catholic. You were kind of talking about how Knox Catholic seemed like they kind of lost their footing in this latter part of the season, but pulling off a tight one, 28-26 for the win. Yeah,
but come back 28-26. So a good win for Catholic tonight, again, as they pull out a win. But yeah, they were trailing in that game. All right, hey, we've been talking about one of the games we're bringing you was Central. William Blount, our own Sam Rothman, had a chance to catch up with the Central coach just a few moments ago, so let's take a listen.
Coach, you trailed for most of that second half, but you got the job done. How was your team able? I hear them saying the Cardiac Cats. How was your team the Cardiac Cats tonight?
With the last 4 games, we've made it like this every game. They're resilient, they're tough, they want to win, they've learned how to win. They just continue to compete and play the next play.
It felt like going into halftime, whatever team was going to win, they needed that defensive stop. Yeah. You guys got it on that last drive, interception. What's going through your mind there where you see the ball coming back towards your way?
Well, we made a coverage check right there, and then Kalen Chastney played it perfect. And this week, Kalen had a little rough week. He battled through it. We had a good conversation, good talk, and he made a heck of a play tonight.
What does it mean to see a player have that kind of performance there at the end after you had a talk, after he went through a rough week, come out and show what he's made of?
Just being coachable. I tell them I love them all the time. They tell me the same thing. This is a great experience.
What did you learn about your team tonight?
Same thing I've learned all year. They're going to keep fighting and win to the last second.
Congrats, Coach.
Thank you so much.
Love it. You know what? Good stuff there for Central. It has been kind of the theme for them all season long, especially the second half of the year. How about Maryville? 43-7. Ever since that loss to Alcoa at the beginning of the season, the Red Rebels just keep rolling on. But again, a big win tonight against Bradley Central, so they're looking good, obviously, for the postseason. That'll be a team I think we're all going to have to watch once we get into the playoffs. Yeah,
absolutely. 100th year for them, and we all know what happened to Sevier County in 5A during their 100th year last year. They rode that all the way to a state title. So Maryville maybe trying to do that the same for them in 6A, though.
All right, tough night for the Road Runners as they fall 47-6 to Meigs County. Jeffco, another team.
We got to check in on their record because they have not lost a lot. They've been doing pretty decent.
They're having a good year. 39-15. The Patriots with the win tonight over Mo East. So a big win for Jefferson County.
Looking at North Green over Sunbright. That's still going on, but looks like North Green's going to run away with that one, 46-14. And then Oneida shutout, 21-0, winning over Polk County, Bo.
Yeah. Rare you see someone get blanked these days, but yeah, for Oneida, good win there, good defensive game for them. That 21-0 final score. Some other ones for you. The Scott Highlanders, 14-7. Last update we had, that one was in the second against Wartburg Central. So for Scott, things looking okay there, but we'll try to see if before we leave you, see if we can't get a final. Anderson County, we showed you some of this game. This one was actually close.
For a lot
while.
of it, yeah. Anderson County led for the majority. However, is now Doyle nipping on their heels as close as 1 point there, 28-27. I believe that was right when we were going into the half, but then Anderson County really took control in that second half after the break.
And kudos to South Doyle. Quarterback's injured. Got a freshman in there playing. Did a good job tonight.
Yeah.
Pigeon Forge, hey, look at this. Pigeon Forge, 25-12.
Back-to-back wins for them. They lost their first 6 to open up the season. Now 3 straight wins. Wow.
Also, Unicoi County, 42-0 over West Green, and then Tellico Plains tonight with a 4-point win.
Close one for them,
Yeah, over the Owls of Smith County. All right.
Good night of football.
Good night of football. If you missed any of it, don't worry. Casey will take care of you coming up later on tonight
at
11 o'clock. You've got highlights and scores from around the area.
Highlights and scores. We'll get to see more of that interview with Sam and Kevin Lane over at Central, too, as well.
All right, sounds good. I can't wait till next week for the final week of the regular season. We're going to bring it all
here
right here. Yeah. Hey, have yourself a great night. We'll see you back on WATE at 11 o'clock.
Have a great night.
Again, we're going to be running down a number of games for you tonight, so I've got papers scattered all over the desk for you. Take a look here. This is a 7-7 ball game. I'm guessing this is William Blount Central. I see Bob